Actually,
Yeah, I'm watching the rise, and I wouldn't say I'm shocked, cause I'm hardly surprised. This one's for the ride, this one's for who knew I'd make it, just needed some time. This one's for my wife, could've left 1,000 times just about my side. This one's for the grind, I knew it would happen, just had the strength in my mind.
It's the Travel OG, and welcome to the Black Manosphere Conclave 5.0!
We got started in 2021 in Atlanta, united in the pursuit of excellence in all things. It's been one hell of a ride.
Can I tell you what's on my mind? Cause I've been thinking about it for quite some time. Hey, can you give me a moment to declare my love? Can I tell you what's on my mind?
We're now focusing more on opportunities for men, in particular passport bros. Guys who go abroad, they want to have a different lifestyle, they want to have a different achievement abroad. Oh yeah, there's without a doubt the narrative has changed for us greatly.
I just finished speaking and having a chance to tell individuals about how to live the American dream outside of America. And I was here to help so many men when it comes to understanding what they need to do in order to relocate.
With the political climate, things that are happening worldwide, guess what? Nobody's coming to save us. So it is indicative that we all bound together, tighten up like a fist, and strike a mighty blow against everything that's fighting to stop us, man.
It's nothing but good, positive people, good, positive energy with one goal in mind, and that is to make money, get the hell out the matrix, and enjoy your life. You dig? So shout out to all of y'all. Theme music.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is your man Marcus A. Brown, and I'm here to tell y'all that I just got done with my first consultation with the brother Andre of Love Crossing Borders. I just wanted to give him his praises. I need y'all to do two things if you haven't already. If you haven't subscribed to his YouTube channel, Love Crossing Borders. Also, if you are going to Colombia, if you're thinking of going anywhere, traveling internationally, please consider booking a consultation with the OG Andre of Love Crossing Borders. You will not be disappointed. And y'all, get in tune with him if you haven't already. Tell him MAB sent you. Peace.
Where are all the black men? And I'm not talking about the scammers, the drug dealers, the robbers, and the crooks.
well, actually,
Here with Andre and Andre's Love Crossing Borders. That's where they are. I don't know whether to start this one off sad or glad. Let's start this off with a good one. I don't think this is a sad episode. Here we go. Let's start off right there. There are thousands upon thousands of Americans that have decided that they're done with the States. We see this over the past few years since the passport bro movement, military guys movement, the sexpat movement, whatever it may be. Other movements have been a motivator for a lot of Americans to relocate to other countries. Among those Americans are Black folk. And where do Black folk normally say that they want to go? Where's the fantasy location? That Shangri-La, that Wakanda, if you will, that Black people have always said that they want to go to, or at least relocate to, the continent of Africa. All 54 countries have been considered by African Americans in one way or another as a place where they can relocate, go back to their roots, find peace, learn a little bit about their heritage, and at the same time do something to help build the future of the continent. However, while many have been successful in that endeavor, there are those who have gone back to Africa, learned some truths about what it's like to live on the continent, what it's like to live as an American on the continent, what it's like to realize that Yeah, you are seen as black in a country of people with the same color that you have. I'll say that again. Many Americans are discovering that black does not mean that you are equal to those kin folks that got skin folk. They see themselves in Africa by their tribes, by their culture, by their country. They see you as black, and they don't consider themselves by ethnicity and by race black. So we're going to look at that narrative to see who all have been successful, who all has failed when it comes to going back to the continent of Africa. Shout out to the singer, ex-wife of Nas, Khalees, who has gone to the continent of Africa and bought so much land there and has done so many amazing things there. But she still has some things that she realizes, she wish was a little bit different when it comes to the continent of Africa. But before we do, we got some shout outs to give. Shout out to all you guys that were patiently here with your boy Dre. Shout out to all 16 of you guys that are in the building. Appreciate you, gentlemen. Appreciate you being here. Let's go to our brother Kenny. Kenny says this right out the gate. He said, "Good evening, Dre. Bagging out classwork on campus. Should we worry about Africa being the new America the American dream? Last time I checked, Africa is very, very expensive. It depends on what country you go to in Africa. Remember, it's 54 countries. 54 countries to choose from, 54 different versions of America, of 54 versions of Europe, 54 versions of South America, 54 versions of Asia. So when we talk about Africa, we cannot clump everybody in the same economic scenario when it comes to cost of living. So it depends on where you're trying to go to and how you're trying to live in that country. But that was a great statement, Kenny. Shout out to my brother David Dice in the building. Appreciate you being here, Dave. Dave say the family. You say Andre and Andre, salute to you as well, kind sir. We got a great show for tonight, man. Really good one. Salute to the chat, brother. Salute. Yes, sir. And Kenny says this. Kenny says, and maybe our African people don't like the foundation African American, the foundation or foundational African American. One thing that you're not going to play victim, called or cry racism whenever things don't turn out the way they're expected in the new country. That's true too. That goes for whether it's Africans coming to America or whether it's us Americans, African Americans going to the continent of Africa. There is no perfect scenario. There is no perfect situations. I think on both ends, we make a big mistake when we move to each other's countries with preconceived notions about what we thought should happen to us in that new country. And it doesn't necessarily gel out in the first 6 months to a year. I want to say that again. Quite often, Africans come to America with the preconceived idea of what America is all about. Many succeed, but even in their success, their economic success, they discover things about America that were false compared to the narrative they heard back home. So it is when we go back to Africa, we have this image of Africa, motherland, the mother of all civilization. And we have this Wakandan mindset. And we go to Africa and we realize that African people are just like anybody else, just living day-to-day lives, raising their families. Everybody's not sitting around at night around a bonfire celebrating the ancestors. But in our minds, that's how Africa is. And so we discovered things about the continent that was a false narrative on our part too. So on both ends, I believe that there's some discovery and some acceptance of truth that needs to be had. Shout out to you, David, Kenny, in regards to that. And David says this, he said, I got to be honest. He said, I still visit Africa. He said, but in terms of living in South America, has my heart. I can agree with that. Shout out to 313 Nate in the building.
You better back the fuck up out my face, goddammit. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Don't play with me.
Do not play with those Detroit men. You know how they get in public. Says congratulations to Colombia in the FIFA Cup men's soccer. Yes, sir. Moving up to the next level, the top 32 teams in the world. From the top 64 to the top 32, Colombia has moved up and is in first place in our division. So shout out to Colombia for that. Even though we got robbed when we were going against Cristiano and we got a goal, but you know how they do. They're going to rob the brothers every time the brothers out there getting goals. My man LJV, Southern Vega, is in the building. Salute to you as well, brother. Glad to see that you're here. Also, we had a great time. Great time last night on Patreon for about an hour and a half. Had a great topic that we talked about. Great topic. So if you guys who are on Patreon haven't had a chance to see it, it's over there waiting for you. All you got to do is click on collections in the top section, and that collection will bring you down to the section in which we spoke about yesterday's topic. Yes, sir. Let me scroll down a little further. We got 28 in the building. Shout out to my man Garland being in the building. Glad to see you here, bro. He said, I was super nervous today about the birthright citizenship today. He said, and I'm on time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Glad to see that you're here. Let me know what you meant about the birthright citizenship. Let me know what you mean by that. Shout out to you, and shout out to my brother Rico in the building. Good evening to you, brother, and good evening to the chat. And we got the one and only Geechee Man in the building. Glad to see that you're here, brother. Salute to you as well. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful evening, wonderful day. And we got my man Delwyn being in the building. Justin himself. Salute to you, Justin. Glad to see you're here, brother. Yes, sir. And to the chat. Let me scroll down a little further. We got oh man, now this is a whole bruh. You hurt. Shout out to you guys that are watching from Kick, first of all. Shout out to all you guys that are watching from over on Kick. And I might just call you Murtable. I might call you Murtable. Because at the end of the day, that is a long name and I love it. But it's going to take me a couple of weeks of seeing you on here because we're live every day, brother. And it's going to take me a couple of weeks of seeing you on here to understand how to fully pronounce your name. But shout out to you, brother. I hope that you're here. And it sounds like it might be a lady as well. And if it's a lady, shout out to you being here also. Glad to see that you're here. Glad to see that you're here. And my favorite YouTube name, The African Wolf, is in the building. Glad to see that you're here. Say chat room dogs, what's good? We're having a great evening tonight. We really are, man. Having a great evening tonight. Let me scroll down because we got our brother Elham in the building. Glad to see that you're here. He said those Cape Verde women at the World Cup. Yes, Cape Verde women have gone viral. We are going to be doing a video on the Cape Verde women. Yes, sir, gentlemen. We might do that one this Thursday. This Thursday might be the Cape Verde women video. Just to let you guys know. So yes, they have actually gone viral because guys are realizing that off the coast of the continent of Africa, there's a small little island area and there lies Cape Verde. So shout out to the Cape Verde team and shout out to the Cape Verde women. Shout out to Curacao, the island. Caracas. Shout out to Caracas Island. Caracas made it to the World Cup for the first time in like forever. And they got eliminated, but it was great to see them there, man. They're off the coast of Venezuela. And fortunately, they were very fortunate that earthquake did not hit their island because that's how close that earthquake was to Curacao. So shout out to Curacao. Had a great time there this past winter. Shout out to my brother being in the building. E-Man Perry. He said, Africa is untapped. Yes, it is. Untapped potential, especially when it comes to crypto. That is so true. And shout out to our brother Kofa in the building. Glad to see that you're here. Peace to you as well. Shout out to my brother Tommy, little Tommy being in the building representing. Glad to see that you're here. He says this. He said, "What up, family?" He said, "Got to catch you folks on the replay." Shout out to the replay crew in the building. A lot of you guys are busy, but you do step in, let us know that you're watching. And any of you guys, do us a favor, make sure tonight that you leave a comment in the comment section. That helps the channel out tremendously, such as our brother Mom Spaghettios in the building. Salute to you as well, family. Salute to you as well. And we got Crypto Dragon Emperor representing. Yes, sir. Let's go, gents. Hit that like button on your way in. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. We like you. We really do. Make sure that you like us too by hitting that like button. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said, "I missed the Patreon." He said, "I didn't notice until I get back and watch." Yes, every Monday, right around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern, we do a Patreon live for about an hour and a half. It was really good. Yesterday's episode. Let me pull up yesterday's episode. What we did yesterday. Let us see. I just go here, click on collections. Let me do a screen share real quick, let you guys see what we have on the Patreon. Glad you guys are having a good night, man. I'm having a really good night. Let's go here with the screen share. And let's go into Patreon. We'll take a quick look. Just a quick look at what's going on in Patreon. Let me build this up a little bit. Make it larger. Okay. Now we got our girl Khalees. Let me pull this down for a second. I'm going to bring this up. Okay, so this is where we are in the Patreon right now. I'm going to drop the link for you guys to join the Patreon. It's only $5 a month. $5, brothers. $5, $15, $50. Depends on what tier you want, but it's $5 a month, man. I'm telling you, I'm giving you some great information. But let's go back over there. Each one of these groups have a certain amount. So you see 3 videos in here. That means we've done 3 live streams. Right here, it should have the number, but right here, these are all the videos when it comes to real estate in Medellin. And then you click on here. It'll take you directly to this video is going to drop in a few days. But it takes you directly there. Let me drop this down. You can see all 4 of the videos that have to do, and each one of them I wrote an article. I don't know why that's there. So each one I wrote an article, and let me refresh this. Okay, there we go. Oh, I guess it viewed the whole collection. But I wrote an article, and at the bottom of it, you have the links that you can click on for real estate in Colombia. So if you go back here, once again, all four of these are these are the days that they're scheduled to drop for this particular Medellin. Shout out to Paola. Right here, you have 4 videos for real estate market in Cali. Right here, you got 7 videos when it comes to living abroad in the Philippines. Right here, you have 2 videos so far. I'm going to post more in regards to remote work. Each video comes with an article, and these are our live streams that we've done so far. So this is the one that we did yesterday. Right here, that was the main one. But right here, this is the one that we did yesterday when it comes to the psychology of relocation. Sometimes guys find themselves psychologically not prepared to relocate. So we talk about some of the things statistically that will happen to you within the first year, psychologically, within the first year of relocating to another country. To let you guys know, don't panic. If you see yourself going through some of these things, don't panic. It's just your first year. You'll be all right. And so that's got the live video right there. And let's go here. Oh yeah, that's what I forgot to do. So here we go. This was yesterday's video. And we were talking about those particular things of what you psychologically prepare yourself for before you relocate to another country. So shout out to Patreon. On this video, by the way, when the video first starts off, you're going to notice that I'm not there. Just scroll down a little bit, like a minute or two. because I forgot to cut the camera on the Patreon. So that's why in the beginning of this video from yesterday, you're going to see black for a minute, but just slide down to about a few moments, and then you'll see the topic. So I'll be dropping the link to the Patreon in a little while, but let's get back to the topic at hand. And shout out to my brother being in the building. The 313 boys representing.
We in Tampa, 813, Trigger City. Let's get it.
Our brother Florida Gator representing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Glad to see that you're here. Hope you're having a great day, Gator. Really hope you're having a great, great evening. Shout out to Black Scorpion being in the building as well. As well as Zeta. He said, I watched Brazil and Japan. He said, it was, I heard people cheering all over the place. So you're right. Right. I heard a lot of people cheering all over the place. France destroyed Sweden. I kind of figured that would happen. Today, they didn't stand a chance. Not against France. Not at all, man. Not at all. Shout out to my brother being in the building. Salute to our brother T-Mac over there in Medellin, Colombia. And our brother Bing. Hello to you. Having a great evening, Bing. I'm having a great, great evening. Cannot complain, man. I'm with you guys. So let's get ready to get started with the live stream. Let's change the music over. Let's get started with the live stream. Let us change the music over. All right. Like I was mentioning for tonight, one of the mistakes, shout out to my man Jay being in the building. Jay Cool being here. One of the mistakes that I see that we as African Americans or Black people and people on the continent of Africa, we're over the last couple of years, it's been a lot of miscommunication. It's been a lot of misinformation. I've noticed that we both have a fantasy about each other's country. Africans have this fantasy about America, which I can understand. Black Americans have a fantasy about Africa. I can understand that. But once we get to each other's countries, we get kind of disappointed once we see the truth of the scenario. Africans don't realize that Americans aren't super, super friendly. We pretend like we're friendly. We'll ask you how your day was, but we don't care how your day was. But that's just an American thing that we do. And Africans are starting to discover that America really is about making money in business. We aren't internationally famous for family. Sorry, African brothers and sisters. We aren't famous around the world for fairness. Sorry, African brothers and sisters. When it comes to freedom or peace or equal rights or how to treat women, America does not rank in the top 20. We've already looked that up before in a global index when it comes to how to treat women. America does not even rank in the top 25 countries in the world when it comes to fairness to women. I don't think Americans realize that. We are not the fairest country, and we're not even the top 10. We're not even the top 20 fairest countries in the world when it comes to how women are treated. Ugh. And so they come to our country, they say, okay, the educational system of going to college, great. Having an opportunity to get a job or start a business, great. But if I'm not working and I'm not running a business, oh, well, America's not the Shangri-La that I thought it would be. Same thing when it comes to Africa. A lot of us go to Africa and we're looking for Black Panther. We're looking for all type of special herbs. We think we're walking right into a Marvel comic book. We think it's supposed to be like Alex Haley at the end of the movie of the television series Roots, where he went back to Africa and all the Africans were surrounding him and they were dancing around. They were so happy. We, as Black people, all of us seem to think, well, many of us, not all, seem to think there's supposed to be this gigantic celebration of us coming back home to the motherland. But then when you get back to Africa, you find out that they're just regular, everyday people like we are back in the States. Take care of family, take care of homes. They go through ups and downs just like we go through. So a lot of times that misconception is made. And so when we discover that is not that fantasy place as much as we thought it was, reality starts to sink in. And many of us do stay and keep on developing and living in Africa. But there are a lot of Americans that are finding out the truth that either way, either country is not perfect. Shout out to my brother, and I mean brother, Victor, being in the building. He said, "What's up, everyone?" He said, "Let's get those donations in. We appreciate you guys." I forgot to mention that myself. Appreciate you guys donating by way of PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat, as well as Bitcoin. Appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. Every dollar donation. And we will also still, by the way, guys, we delivered the food yesterday. A couple days ago, you guys remember that we'd had a fundraiser on Cash App regarding food that's going to be delivered in Pampers and hygiene products that are going to be delivered to Venezuela. They don't need clothes. They don't need clothes. But when it comes to everything else, food, hygiene, soap, towels, they need all those things. So the monies that you guys have been donated on Cash App has been going towards that. We're going to be doing that for the rest of the week. And so we dropped off the first load of food and Pampers and all type of things. And now we're going to wait a couple of days, build up some more money on Cash App, and Andrew's going to go back to the grocery store. And then we're going to go back to, and T-Mac knows where the Marriott is. Victor knows where the Marriott here is in Cali, Colombia as well. And so that's where they're allowing people to drop off the food, is at the Marriott, and they're putting it in boxes and taking it to Venezuela. So if you guys want to donate on the Cash App as well, all that money will go towards the proceeds there in Venezuela. Shout out to you guys. He says, "Salute to Love Crossing Borders." Shout out to Ronan Traveler out there in, good morning to you in the Philippines, man. I got a Philippines episode coming up real soon. I want you to be a part of, brother. Yes, sir. And Corporal ST and all you guys that are watching from Andrea's channel, shout out to all you guys over there. Appreciate you, gentlemen. Appreciate you that are watching from Andrea's channel. Glad to see you guys are here. Glad you're here. All right. Shout out to Geechee Man over there on Andrea's channel as well. And E-Man Perry says this. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. E-Man Perry says, "Yep, a lot of them come here because and become bums." Bums. Corporal ST says this. He says, "Tell the truth, Dre. We are looking for the Blackest Panther." I know, right? We think we gonna go there. We're gonna find vibranium. Oh my God, we're in Wakanda. We got vibranium. Everybody's going to become a Black Panther. We'll all walk around in royalty and robes from the era of Egypt. We all going to be members of the Zulu tribe. We do. We got these African fantasies in our mind, man. And I'm not saying that none of it can come to pass, but we fail to realize most of the continent of Africa are just regular people that live regular lives the best way they can, just like we are in the States. He said, however, we aren't the nicest people compared to the people throughout the world. This is true. We are not known for our niceness and hospitality in America. To a certain extent, yes, but over the grand scheme of things, yeah, no. J. Cool says, he said, "Yo, Dre," he said, "I've heard some say that we are benefiting from others, benefiting from other men's patriarchy when we date and marry out. Would you say that this is valid or relevant?" I say no. We do benefit. I'll say this. We do. I'm going to keep your comment up. We do benefit from the fact that men in other cultures have often kept their women to be traditional. We do. Their patriarchal societies have laid a foundation that we wish we still had in the United States. That's true. But when it comes to it, when it comes to benefiting, we only benefit because it's already there. We don't influence that at all. I give you a perfect example. Some of you guys can attest to this. I didn't have to come here and show Andrea how to be fit, feminine, friendly, supportive, submissive. She's like that with her dad, her brother, her cousins. She is, if you guys come over, she's going to make you guys a drink or anything to drink. If you guys come over, she's going to make you guys a plate of food. I didn't have to instill those things in her. That's how the culture is here. And in many countries, the Philippines, Thailand, parts of Africa, it is in parts of Eastern Europe, it is the women are just traditional, and we do benefit off of that. Yes, we do. We are not going to sit up here and pretend like we are not benefiting off the hard work of thousands of years of these men keeping their women on a straight and narrow path. Yes, we do benefit because their women look gorgeous. Under patriarchy, these women know that they have a competition when it comes to men, and these women will take care of their bodies in Thailand, in the Philippines. They'll take care of their bodies in many parts of Africa. They will take care of their bodies in Brazil and Panama. Why? Because they know to be with one of these patriarchal men, it's a competition. And we benefit off the fact that these women know it's a competition. Yes. Don't feel, my answer is yes, and don't feel bad about it. You guys are benefiting off of what the other men are doing. Yes. I'll say it in my Ice Cube voice from the movie Fridays when he was high. Yes. Yes. Do not deny it. Sit back and I want traditional. And I got on planes, and you guys have gotten on planes, and you want traditional in your life as well. I'm a conservative independent. I am conservative. I am old school. It is what it is. You're not going to get me to where the world has changed, Dre, not around the world. I'd rather be in the part of the world where it hasn't changed quite yet than be in the world where it has changed, and y'all got to deal with them crazy women in the West. Whether it be Western Europe, whether it be the United States, whether it be Canada, give me a plane ticket any day before I have to deal with some of those ladies. And I didn't say all ladies, but some of those ladies and laws in the West. Don't forget about the laws. So yes, we do benefit off of that. We benefit also off the laws that they have in other countries. Not every country has the same amount of or same type of divorce laws or child support laws that we have in the West, and we benefit off of that. Yes, with a passport, you in many cases don't have to deal with the rigmarole and the unjustness of laws that the United States has compared to other countries. Yes, we benefit from better laws. Yes, we do. I'm not going to argue it down. I'm not going to fuss it down with ladies on panels. Y'all just taking advantage of what the other men are doing. Yes, they did it. Shout out to all the foreign men out there. Shout out to every foreign man in every foreign land that laid a foundation to where when we land in your country, there are still traditional, submissive, supportive, fit, feminine, friendly women that know how to smile, women with good hygiene, women that got good pH balance. Shout out to all those men in those other countries. But here's the kicker, J. Cool. You know who's going to be the one. This is what they don't talk about in the United States. Who are the ones that introduce us to the women in their countries that are traditional like this? Even though these men put in all the work, they're the ones that's introducing us to the women. From the taxi driver to the guy that works in a hotel, from a person that works in a mall to a person that works at the doctor's office. It is the foreign men who often will introduce you and tell you that they got a daughter, they've got a cousin, they've got a niece, they've got their wife's sister. You know how many times, man, even to this day, you know how many times I still get approached to date somebody's daughter or sister or aunt in Colombia because they have no problem with it. Because if they see you as a good dude, I'm gonna say this again, they don't say that to every dude, but if they notice that you're a good person and you got a good sense of humor and you smile, man, you be riding from the airport and the taxi driver be talking about, hey, I got 2 nieces that need a husband. They have no problem in other countries letting you know that the women in their country are looking for men. So when American women in simps in the United States talk about you going over to those other countries taking advantage, dude, I ain't got to do nothing. It's the dudes that's bringing the women to us. It's the guys that's bringing the women to us. But they don't want to talk about that part. They don't want to talk about that part. Shout out to my brother 40 in the building. Hope everything's going great with you, 40, man. I was thinking about you the other day. Hope everything is going great with you, brother. He say, Africa can be the new America, just like other countries around the world. The key has always been doing the homework and looking at the reality. I like that second part you said. I like both. Doing your homework when it comes to going to Africa and looking at it through, take off the rose-colored glasses. Look at Africa for what it actually is, whatever part you're going to be in. Because we as Black people in America, we have these rose-colored glasses about Africa. We think everybody riding on, Lamborghinis or a lion. You see what I'm saying? We think of Princess Zamunda. We think everybody got a lion's mane coming across their shoulder with rubies and diamonds for the eyes. Come on, man. Everybody. The more I travel, the more the song by Digital Underground holds true. All around the world, the same song. Digital Underground, who gave us the hit, the Humpty Hump, they were 100% correct. As you go around the world, you notice it's all around the world the same song. People are people are people. And so no matter where you got to go, you got to vet. No matter where you go, you have to do your research, and you do have to take the rose-colored glasses off for every country. He's correct. He say, and not the fantasy of where you move to. Yeah, absolutely correct. Don't put these countries on fantasy island. Absolutely correct. He said, yeah, most countries are traditional. Once you get out here in the real world, shout out to Charles B in the building. Once you get out here in the real world, you're absolutely correct. Elham says our women are not traditional because of government assistance and laws. That's true. They don't have to be anymore. You do have a group of trad wives out there, but it's not the norm. You got women that'll say, I still cook. Yeah, you do, but it's not the norm. I still do this for my man. Yeah, you do, but it's not the norm. It's not the norm. And like I said, let's say every woman or most women in the United States were traditional. Y'all know my theory, always. The laws. Your woman can be traditional for 60 years of marriage. The laws still say she could divorce you, take half your shit, leave you with barely nothing but scraps. And those are the laws. She could take the house. She could go down and file a restraining order on you. And both of y'all are in your 80s. I'll say this again. You both are in your 80s. And the way that the law is set up, she can still go downtown, file a false restraining order on your old tail, get you kicked out of your own house in your 80s. These are the laws. Take you to court, get the house, get a portion of your Social Security, a portion of the investments, and 50% of everything else, and leave you high and dry in your 80s. Why? Because that's the way that the laws are set up in the states. And each state, yes, does have different laws, but most states kind of gel and blend the same way. That's the part that you're going to hear me fuss about. I don't care nothing about the ladies. The ladies in the United States could change and become the most fit, feminine women you have ever seen, but the laws are still in their purses. The laws are still in your woman purse. That's why I'm never impressed when I hear guys talk about, we've been married 17 years. We've been married 23 years. You know, we've been married almost 29 years. I don't care. 36% of all divorces happen after the age of 50 years old. So I don't care how long y'all been together, y'all in y'all 40s. And I don't care. Because women keep the laws in their purse, even traditional women. And when they want to have access to the laws, they just reach into their purse and they wipe you high and dry. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's the law. Shout out to my brother. Your win is due 22. He said 2 nieces. He said, take me to them. Yeah, that happens all the time, man. All the time. He said, they always want to introduce you to someone. That's true. I told y'all that one time, man, I was on the dance floor with this baddie, man, back in the day. This is when I first got to Medellin, bro. And danced with her. And she's beautiful. Body crazy. And I'm thinking that I'm gonna mess around with her. And I'm thinking with my American mind. And she escorted me to the back of the club. So I'm thinking like so she could hear me, see us, so we could talk together, where it's quieter. We can have some privacy. This is what I'm thinking in my mind. And as she's escorting me with her hand, I'm just looking at that behind just sway, and thick thighs, beautiful legs and heels. I'm looking like, wow, yeah, I'm about to get busy. And she had a face card, everything. And I kid you not, we walked to the back of the club where her sister was sitting alone. And she dropped my hand in her sister lap. And her sister face card was better than hers with the dimples. Her sister stood up, her body. You could tell they were sisters, bruh. Her body was better than her sister. I was like, dang. Now, the one I was with was in her early 30s, the one I originally danced with, but she introduced me to a sister who was in her later 30s. But they both could have been the same age. I mean, she was bad. Spent the whole night dancing with the sister. Kid you not, smashed her sister for about 6 months going back and forth whenever I went back to Medellin. I forget the name of the company that she worked for, the sister worked for. But she was she worked for a debt collection agency. And so she was one of the managers. So she was on the management team. But her sister was bad. I mean, her sister was bad. Freak. Oh my God. Good times, good time. Freaky, freaky, freaky. You know when certain females are freaky, you could tell that they ain't had no sex in a long time? That was the older sister. When I was smashing it, bro, you could tell that ain't nobody been hitting it. She was just on the wild side, like, oh, thing. I remember one time she was riding and she the first time she got on top riding, it was almost like she sighed, like, oh. Like she just sighed, just the relief of having sex. Like, oh my God, it feels so good to be enjoying a man. That's how her sister was. So when I tell you people introduce people to people in Colombia, it is so true. That has happened to me a couple times of people introducing me to people. Yep. A few times. Really good people down here. Really good people down here. He said, I haven't met one Colombian woman that wasn't trying to introduce me to someone they knew. Absolutely correct. Shout out to Jerron being in the building. Shout out to you. So when it comes to Africa, once we said it depends on what you're looking for. Let's get ready to get started with tonight's video.
This is what they want you to think the continent of Africa looks like.
Right. America has sold that narrative of Africa. Europe has sold that narrative, this narrative of Africa to us for years. We rarely get a chance to see, brother. I thought that this was the only part of Africa. At least my first 20, 25 years. In the history books, they made Africa look like this. I remember the first time I saw they were talking about slavery, and I saw photos of the African villages, and they made it look like this. They didn't make it seem like Africa had cities, infrastructure, none of that. They made it seem like all 54 countries looked just like this, and it had zebras and rhinos walking around in the neighborhood. It took it to my adulthood to discover what Africa really looked like.
But this is what it's really like.
Damn. Yo, Khalees Milkshakes has took her a long way with her fine self. Look at her, just aging so juicifully. But these days, Khalees has been on a whole different journey living her life. Now, this is what I call the soft life. Freedom, plenty of land to build off of, enjoying the natural resources. She's figured it out in the second half of her life. Khalees has moved her whole family to Kenya and has been living there full time for the past year and a half. And so far, she's loving it. She's been farming, has acres of land with animals on it, and has plans on building a resort on the land she bought, which makes total sense. Cause I'm Liberian, a country from west side of Africa, and a lot of my family are doing this same exact business model, which is buying land and flipping it into resorts and such, which is becoming very, very common these days in Africa, as they are trying to modernize it and bring more tourists. So I 100% see her vision, and it's gonna pay off big time. On her Earn Your Leisure episode, she breaks all this down, and you can hear how passionate she is while talking about it, as she has learned and soaked up so much information and explains in details of her journey moving to Kenya.
It seems so far-fetched, like I can't just pick up my whole life and just go, I've got kids, I've got school, like all this stuff. Then it came into like, well, now I gotta bring my kids, right, because we don't know how long we're gonna be gone for. We figured a month at first, and I was like, well, I need a nanny, because I have my nanny. Then I was like, well, let's just bring my mom. Then as my mom's gonna go crazy, I need to bring my auntie. So then I brought my mom and my auntie so they could stay with the kids. And then me and my sister were gonna travel around. I was like, yo, well, we need to film this. It became this whole, and it was just this whole thing, and ended up being what was a month. We packed for a month. My staff at home, I was like, this is a month, I'll be back.
No, don't forget, Khalees had a couple of hits out. Khalees, man, if you go to Khalees's Instagram, bruh, Khalees never stopped touring. She never stopped making her own money. I agree with you that a lot of that money came from, child support and divorce with Nas. I got you. She got a nice little grip from that divorce with Nas. But I'm telling you, she also never stopped, man. She never stopped touring. I thought that she did. I thought that she was like, hey, I'm making this Nas money. I'm good. Let him tour. That's what I thought it was. But she still was out there, man. Yep. Yeah, and the old white man's money. That's true too. I give you guys that one. Yes, she did. But hey, at least she doing something. I'll say this about Khalees. Let me put it like this. At least she's doing more with the money than the average female that divorces a dude. You ain't gonna find the average female that divorces a dude out here buying land everywhere she goes. Khalees owns a bunch of acres in California, and now she owns buku acres in Africa. Most women, they take your money after divorce. She buying Birkin bags. She going on cruises. She spoiling the new dude with your money. At least Khalees is doing something that can impact generations with the Nas money and the white dude's money. I give her credit for that one. And for her age, she's still looking good. She's still looking good. So shout out to Khalees.
I'll rent a house in Zanzibar. That way I know my kids will be happy. They'll be at the beach. My mom and my auntie will be fine. Post them up there. And then that way I can start to travel. So that's where we started. So they spent like my family spent like the first month really in Zanzibar. And then as I started traveling around, I was like, well, I need to bring them too. I was like, and then we got to Kenya. I was like, Kenya's got something. I was like, so then after a month, like month and a half, I brought them here to Kenya. And then I kept traveling around. So that's really, and then the next thing you know, it was like 6 months later. And I was like, well, I'm here. I need a place. Like, I was spending all this money, renting stuff. And I was like, this is dumb. So then that's how it really just like I ended up here. It was never like the grand plan. It just sort of like.
Cause when I started seeing her in Africa all the time, I thought she was just visiting. But nope, her mom, her aunt, her kids, sister, and many more of her family are living and enjoying Kenya to the fullest. Besides her farm and property she plans on building, she's also associated with Feed the People, which honors the Black Panthers free breakfast program by donating a percentage of every item sold to feeding the children in Africa. So every merchandise and shirts they sell, a portion of that goes to feed.
So yeah, at the end of the day, we might not like how things worked out with how she worked out our boy, did our boy Nas, but she dang sure doing a lot better than a lot of chicks that have ran through a man's money. She out there getting it in. So I can't be mad at her.
Feeding all these beautiful kids. Man, that's a blessing. Khalees is out here doing the Lord's work and looking sexy as hell in the process. I mean, look at her. Her milkshakes are overflowing, but it's good to see her still looking beautiful as ever. And since being in Kenya, she has also ventured into other businesses like her skincare collection called Bounty in Full, which helps to rejuvenate your skin.
True, her skincare is off the train too. She making that I did know. I did a lot of homework on Khalees while I was doing this episode. And her skincare beauty line, she making bank. She took that money with Nas and she flipped it. I ain't gonna lie to you. To be able to go to Africa and buy hundreds of acres of land, to have hundreds of acres of land in California, to have a skincare line. She also is building retreats for glamping. So people that want to go camping on her land, they can do that. And she's hired a lot of people, a lot of staff members from the continent. So she's helping people find jobs. She's feeding the kids. I mean, what more can you ask from an ex-wife? And she's still looking good. Yeah, I ain't mad at her.
You can see how she's looking. She also came out with a children's book called 7 Wonders of Africa, which details the beauties she has seen since traveling all over the continent into a digestible kids book, so they can also experience what she has been seeing. Yo, Khalees is putting in the work in the motherland, and it's beautiful to see. But she's one of the ones helping to push the message about investing in Africa and how beautiful it is, as many celebrities are now going to Africa for various of reasons. Ja Rule has invested and opened a school in Ghana to help with the overcrowding of classrooms and better facilities. Ludacris, whose wife is from Gabon, has now gotten his dual citizenship there and plans to build property and businesses among other things. Meek Mill has expressed interest in getting property in Ghana. It's been rumored by Dave Chappelle that Jay-Z has a house in Ghana, along with many other celebrities now tracing back their heritage and wanting to invest in the motherland, which will help Africa to get richer as a continent, because the American celebrity spotlight that they're giving the country will go a long way. So it's beautiful to see, as Khalees is one of the first ones that's jumped in and committed 100% to moving her family to Kenya while maintaining her farm in Kenya and California, and also planning on building resorts. I can't wait till it's all done. It's gonna look beautiful. But yeah, man, props to Khalees for this. This is super dope and inspirational. But yeah, I'm gonna catch you on the next one.
When I bought my farm, In California, everybody thought I was crazy, and then COVID hit. And now I'm out here and I'm in Africa and I'm farming and I'm living and I'm growing businesses, and people probably think I'm crazy, but I guarantee you guys, this is the most beautiful, and quite frankly, it's the best decision I've made. I'm a pioneer. This is what I do. I'm here. I'm loving it.
A Black American man living in Africa dropped a brutal reality check about his experience.
So not everybody's having a good experience. Let's go.
Warning other people from coming after quickly discovering the locals do not view Black Americans as their own people. In fact, the perceived expectation of racial solidarity evaporates the moment you step off the plane and get selectively extorted, scammed, and exploited for being a foreigner. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel. I have a lot to say on this topic, so make sure you watch till the end, but let's jump into it.
You should not move to Africa if you expect to feel welcomed.
Nothing around me was important. The big buildings, the cars, none of that was important. What was important to me when we land is that the ground I was standing on was in Africa. And that was beautiful. That was the beauty of Rhonda and of everything, of the whole experience, is that I stood on land in Africa. And that was the most amazing thing to me when we arrived.
I went to Africa for the first time. Bro, people talk about how when you get off that plane and you put your foot on African soil, something happens. And I'm like, okay, cool. Woo woo, Bro, when I got off that plane, I set my foot, on my right foot and my left foot, on the ground in Africa, in Johannesburg, at that airport. And the overwhelming feeling, accompanied with goosebumps that hit me, was home. You're home. So something came over me when my natural physical body was reunited to the soil of the DNA from which I came. That space, something came over me. That was nothing I'd ever felt before. And I think what I'm saying today is that we have to align ourselves with the original design for us. And move in that space.
The part that nobody talks about when you travel to a Black country for the first time, the second time, or any time is how emotional it is. And I don't mean crying on the plane emotional. I mean the moment you step off the plane and realize you're not the minority anymore.
Let me ask you this, T-Mac, and anybody that's been on the continent of Africa. Did you get those goosebumps? Did you get that feeling of, I'm back home in the motherland. I finally made it. Roots 2, the return of you. Did you have that feeling? Me, I'm not wired like that. So I'm not about to pretend that I have a historic nostalgia about Africa. I'd be happy and proud to be there, but I'm not sitting around like, it's the motherland. Oh my God. I'm not a rose-colored person about countries like that. I don't walk into countries with the assumption I want to learn and enjoy the countries, but I don't want to make assumptions before I go there. So let me know if you guys who went to Africa, did you have that feeling? Zeta says, nope. He said, I didn't have that feeling. He said, but I felt blessed to be there. Yeah. Now that I can agree with. That I can agree with. Now that a feeling, that's probably how I would feel like, man, I'm the first one in my family to make it to Africa. But I'm not the dude to sit back around like my ancestors, on behalf of my ancestors, I'm the first one. I don't think like that. But I do think, wow, I am blessed to be here in the country, on the continent. He said, these folks got guns pointed got pointed at the wall. Oh shit. They say big ups. They say big ups, Africa or else. I know, right? I know. Oh man, you brothers are funny. Shout out to Jay Anderson the Great once again in the building. Let's continue on.
The moment you're walking around the store and you realize nobody's following you around the store. The moment you realize you've been holding attention in your body your whole life that you didn't even know was there, and all of a sudden it's gone. That's what people don't tell you. It's a vacation and a release. I have watched and I have been a woman standing on the beaches in Ghana and crying, right? Not because something bad happened, but because I finally felt right. And once you feel that, you can't unfeel it. If you've been thinking about traveling to a black country, but you haven't pulled the trigger yet, this is your
Black American, right? I didn't feel the need to say African American. I felt exactly how they did. I've been to several countries in Africa and felt like, Black American. I'm proud. We've accomplished a great deal. Do they really feel like we're connected? But until I went to Ghana, everything changed. Like what happened was I found out, I got roots in Ghana. That's my lineage. But I'm not one of those people who just like is going to get on the bandwagon. I'm back in Mother Africa and all this kind of stuff. But one thing that occurred to me, I knew that there was a bigger trek that started in Ghana. I realized that me telling myself that South Carolina was enough, that's some bullshit. For me, I can only speak for me. But when I went back and the way I felt, man, I wish this for anybody black living in this country.
You see, I had the exact same skin tone as a lady. Nobody around the world can mistake me for anything other than a black man. In particular, those who come with a Pan-Africanist mindset. Because you're coming over here thinking we are one, we are brothers, we are the same. I'm here to uplift, I'm here to help, I'm here to build, right? These are words that are very common in the Pan-African community.
What is Pan-Africanism?
Pan-Africanism, if I was to sum it up in 3 basic principles. Number 1, all African people are one family. Whether you're in South Africa speaking Zulu or Xhosa, whether you're in Nigeria speaking Yoruba or Igbo, whether you're in Kenya speaking Maasai or Kikuyu, whether you're in Senegal speaking Wolof or Mandingo, whether you're in South Bronx speaking Ebonics, or in Haiti speaking French, or Brazil speaking Portuguese, we one family. And it doesn't matter what your religion is, whether you're Muslim or Christian or traditional African spiritualist, whether you pledge allegiance to this flag or that flag, whether you're light skin or dark skin, straight hair, nappy hair like mine, one family.
Yeah.
And we should identify on the level of our Africanity first. Being African is more important than anything else. Why? Because God made you an African. Everything else you belong to, you chose. You can leave Christianity tomorrow. You can leave Islam tomorrow. You can renounce your South African citizenship tomorrow. I could give up my American citizenship, so-called, tomorrow. You understand? I could never give up being an African. God made us African, and that's what we should identify with first.
And then when you get to Africa, you realize you're looked at as an Mzungu, right? A white person. And it's so...
That's true. A lot of times I hear guys talk about, and correct me, all you guys in the Philippines and all you guys in Thailand, I've often heard you guys over there mention that they look at Black Americans and white Americans almost under the same kind of respective umbrella. I'll tell you what, and they do that here in Colombia. You can be a Afro-Colombian and it's like, you could be African or Afro-Panamanian. But if you African-American or white American, they rolling out the red carpet and you're like, wait a minute. When you thought I was just Afro-Colombian, you weren't rolling out the red carpet. But as soon as you heard me speaking English, all of a sudden the narrative changed, and it's like this air of respect that I get just based off of being American. So I can attest to this, and maybe some of you guys can attest to this as well. How we as Americans are treated, I'm just talking about Black Americans. We are treated with a little bit more respect than our African counterparts when it comes to other people. Like when I was in Europe, I didn't feel the pressure and the bigotry that the Africans were feeling that I was seeing when they were in France. I'm seeing Africans in France, and I can feel the energy in the air completely different than me being an African American in France. I was treated a little different, and I could tell. I didn't say it was fair. I just said I could just tell that it was different. So maybe let me know, guys, in the comment if you felt, that when you're in certain countries that you get treated with the same respect as just being an American compared to our African counterparts. You know what I'm saying? He said, I would like to see some of the beauties of the land of Africa and the potential. I'm like that too. That's how I am. He said, I would like to see, okay, we just looked at that one as well. He said, when I landed in Ethiopia, he said, I was treated as an American. He said, that's how they judge me and my behavior. But I felt the peace and energy of the culture. I agree with that. Like I can get it to this day. I can just walk into an elevator and all of a sudden, I haven't said a word. I'll just have a regular polo shirt on, nothing with designs on it. I'm not dressing like I'm a foreigner. When somebody speaks to me, all of a sudden they want to practice their English on me. I know I don't look Afro-Colombian. I know I don't give off the energy of the Afro-Colombian. So now I understand and I respect and expect the narrative that Andre, no matter how you get your Colombian citizenship, and when you get your Colombian citizenship, they will always see you only as an American, which is cool with me. It's cool with me. But they will always see us as Americans in these other countries, no matter how black you are. And that's one of the things that this brother's going to talk about. He's going to talk about, because this brother's been living in Egypt. He's been living in Morocco. I forgot what other countries he's been in. I think South Africa. So him and his sister have been living there for, I would say, about 3 years. And he's saying he notices there's a narrative of how Africans treat Americans, and that fantasy that we have of everybody being one and Pan-Africanism, that ain't true. That's what he's saying.
Disheartening because you're being overcharged, you're being scammed, you're being looked at as an opportunity.
Same thing T-Mac just said. T-Mac just said when he was in Africa, they were trying to extort him and things like that. Let's bring this back right here.
Skin, straight hair, nappy hair like mine, one family.
Yeah.
And we should identify on the level of our Africanity first. Being African is more important than anything else. Why? Because God made you an African. Everything else you belong to, you chose. You can leave Christianity tomorrow. You can leave Islam tomorrow. You can renounce your South African citizenship tomorrow. I could give up my American citizenship, so-called, tomorrow. You understand? I could never give up being an African. God made us African, and that's what we should identify with first.
And then when you get to Africa, you realize you're looked at as an Mzungu, right? A white person. And it's so disheartening because you're being overcharged, you're being scammed, you're being looked at as an opportunity, right? You're being left out of certain conversations that you might have wanted to be involved in. A lot of this honestly can be avoided though, if you just know the real, honest, raw truth about moving to the continent of Africa.
Okay, so 3 cons. The roads, some of the potholes are like literally they will take your car apart.
Woo! Now Khalees is going to tell you about the parts of Africa that nobody really wants to talk about.
And they have these
Look at those potholes.
speed bumps. You know, like in the States, the speed bumps, like they give you a warning. These speed bumps are in the dark. They're not marked. And you will like hit a bump and leave your soul like behind you. So the roads are definitely takes a little getting used to. And the drainage system is not working. So when it rains, it floods. Also, the trash, the waste management here is trash. Like it's absolutely awful. It doesn't exist. The other big con for me is like shipping, importing. If you want to live like an American here, it's definitely going to cost you like triple the price, or anything imported, not just American, but European, anything that's brought into the country, they're gonna jack you. The last con, I would say, oh God, the car situation here is an absolute nightmare. I have never seen such a bad car situations. First of all, they say if it's not used here in Kenya, that it's like new. That makes no sense. So it could be like 20 years old in another country.
That's crazy. If it's not used, then you treat it like it's new. So if it's a 2008 Fiat, if it ain't been driven, then they consider it new. If it's a 2011 Ford Taurus, if it still got the sticker on it, then they consider it new. That's crazy. Yes, sir. Get the likes up, gentlemen. Appreciate you. Get the likes up. That is crazy, man. You got a 2008 white Bronco that looks like the OJ Bronco, Ford Bronco. If ain't nobody drove it, then it's new. That is crazy. And they charge you new car price. In other words, she's saying they charge you up to date rate of inflation, new car prices for a 2015 Ford Taurus. If nobody's driven it, then that car is brand new. That is crazy. That is crazy. All right, Khalees, thank you for the game, little mama. Thank you for that game.
It's the speed bumps, like they give you a warning. These speed bumps are in the dark, they're not marked, and you will like hit a bump and leave your soul like behind you. So the roads are definitely takes a little getting used to. And the drainage system is not working, so when it rains, it floods. Also, the traffic.
That's funny. To imagine your rent is due 22, that there are countries that a Pontiac, you know, Pontiac doesn't even exist anymore. But if that Pontiac has not been driven, they gonna sell it like it's new. That's crazy.
Their waste management here is trash. Like, it's absolutely awful. It doesn't exist. The other big con for me is like shipping, importing. If you want to live like an American here, it's definitely going to cost you like triple the price. Or anything imported, not just American, but European, anything that's brought into the country, they're gonna jack you. The last con, I would say, oh God, the car situation here is an absolute nightmare. I have never seen such a bad car situation. First of all, they say if it's not used here in Kenya, that it's like new. That makes no sense. So it could be like 20 years old in another country, probably Japan, which means that all of your digital stuff is going to be in Japanese, which is very annoying and no one knows how to change it. They'll still charge, they'll be like, oh, but that's $65,000. I'm like, USD? And they're like, yes, that's a good price. No, it's not. So a lot of times when I see videos of people talking about like how cheap it is to live here, I think you can do things cheap and there are things that are definitely cheaper, but I think
she's in Kenya. She's in Kenya.
If you're coming here thinking like you're going to live like an American, that's like definitely triple the price. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so that's my 2 cents. Bridging the gap with Khalees. I love the continent. You should too, because it's where you're from. And peace.
Well, pedestrians do not have the right of way here, first of all. Look both ways. And move fast. Ooh, watch out. He almost took your arm out. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. It's like playing double dutch.
So therein lies the problem with the Black American perspective. Black Americans view communal solidarity to be skin deep. Because slaves were brought from all over West Africa and lumped into the category of black, the black experience has always been, if we share the same skin color, we're part of the same group, we're part of the same class, and we share the same common struggle. And that skin deep perspective of cultural connection is wrongly projected onto the people of Africa.
Never ever. I've never ever claimed to be no damn Pan-Africanist at all. Never, never, never.
I'm about black unity. I'm all about black unity. Wherever I go in the world, if I see some black folks, I'm going to unify with you. That ain't Pan-Africanism. We need to leave the hell of America and go back to the motherland. No.
So you got Dr. Umar on one side of Pan-Africanism, and you've got Tariq Nasheed saying, no, we aren't the same. Even though we can accomplish the same goals as far as business, we are completely different from each other.
No. Because that's Pan-Africanism. I ain't been on that.
Wow.
But I'm still black unity. Global.
I didn't know that about Phoenix. Shout out to Phoenix. I didn't know that.
Black unity. When I go to the UK, if they let me back, I still got love for the UK folks. When I go back to Africa, I got love for the people over there who's cool. If you're a rider, I got you.
It would be like expecting Europeans to see Americans as one of their own people just because they have white skin. But the left keeps reinforcing this falsehood to black people using terms like black and brown community to imply that solidarity and shared interests are a matter of skin color. And black Americans are shocked to find out that somebody from Ghana doesn't think they're the same as somebody from Uganda, and they certainly don't think they're the same as a black American.
What do you mean I'm black? I'm not black, I'm African. But first day, usually in American or in college system, they give you a paper to fill out. When I filled out, I put other and I put African because the tick is black/African American. Now, I don't have a blue passport. So in my head, I'm no black or African American because I don't have a blue passport. That was my understanding what race was. He literally calls me when class was ending. He's like, oh, like, no. Like, you tick black or African American and you black. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not black. I'm actually African. Because in my mind, this is fresh off the boat, Sophie, 2014. I'm not black. What do you mean I'm black? I'm not black. I'm African.
She said, well, I didn't know I was black until I came to America.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, I don't know what's worse, slavery or colonialism, right? And I just think about how colonized the whole of Africa, Ethiopia says no, but the whole of Africa was colonized up until the 60s.
Yeah.
South Africa faced apartheid up until
the
90s, right? And so I'm like, how could you not know? But then I thought to myself, well, it's interpersonal interactions. It's like white people in Nigeria feel like the weather. They're there, they're controlling something, but they're not affecting your day-to-day life. If you go outside and it rains, you have an umbrella, you know how to control it. And so it's a different ball game. But what I've seen present when there's an absence of the race dynamic is almost always this classism, this class divide, this elitism, which I think is hard because I know for me growing up, when your parents tell you to place value on these things and then you have them, how am I not supposed to feel big? I have my Manolo Blahniks on. How am I not supposed to feel big? You know what I'm saying? It's very, you have to check it.
We have finally found a African woman who agrees.
After much debate, it has come to my attention that you guys are right. I am not black. Black is an American race, and black means African American. And I am not black, and I'm not African American because I'm not native to America.
Before she goes any further, let's break down why they aren't, or they don't consider themselves black. We don't consider them black. America is the only country in which we call, okay, it's all broken down into 3 windows, okay? You can say 4, but 3. First window is your nationality. Second window is your race. Third window is your ethnicity. Ethnicity and race are not the same. They're not the same, except in the United States. In the United States, we have created an ethnicity out of our race. So when we say black, we're talking about not only where we're from, we're not only talking about our DNA, our blood from our ancestors. We're also talking about our modern day group or cultural behaviors. Our ethnicity and our race are one. Our nationality is American. So you can take the ethnicity and say, You can, and if you want to break it down, you can say our race is black, our ethnicity is African American, if you want to use it that way. But in our nation or nationality is American. So the same thing that happens in the Latin community. You have the Afro, that is their race. You have the Latin, which is their ethnicity, and they can be Haitian or Colombian or Peruvian, their country. Most blacks, because we use one narrative for our ethnicity and our race, we think everybody should be using one narrative. That's why we get so pissed off. Well, I don't, but that's why so many blacks get pissed off at Dominicans that say, me no black, papi, me no black. Because Dominicans in many countries hold on to their nationality and their ethnicity first. Dominicans will tell you about their nationality first. I am Dominican. I'm from the island of the Republic of Dominica. You've got Colombians that will tell you about their nationality first. I am Colombian first. I'm Afro second. Or I'm Latin second, their ethnicity. I'm Latin second. And then third, their Afro or their blackness. We as black people in the United States, because we start with our nationality and ethnicity as one being black, we talk about being black. That's us. That's a us thing. And I think Americans, blacks in America, make a bad mistake of assuming, well, you're black. No, they aren't. That is our narrative of ethnicity and race in one. That's ours. And until when you get pulled over by the police, they're going to ask you, are you black? They see you as black because in America, American police, let's say this again. In America, when you say you get pulled over by the police, yes, white people have been programmed, and all cultures have been programmed to look at our ethnicity and our race as one. What is that? Black. We're the only ones that do that. There is no other nation of people of color that uses their ethnicity and their race as one definition. We're the only ones that do it. Our culture, our ethnicity is black, and we use it for our skin tone, the term black. Another thing, as I just mentioned, Americans are one of the few that use their race their nationality second or third. When we're in America, we say that person is white, that person is Jewish, that person is Irish, that person is black, that person is whatever it may be, right? Asian. We do not say that they're Americans first. We don't run around bragging about, we'll talk about Americans and we'll talk about America first, but on a day-to-day conversations, we don't talk like that. We don't talk about our nationality first. Anybody that's an American in this comment section can tell you when you travel, you have never felt more American. And when you go back to the States, you feel like you're black or you're white or you're whatever culture. We talk a good game in America, but we do not celebrate our nationality as much as other countries do. Dominicans put their nationality first. I'm Dominican first. South Africans say I'm South African. Then they talk about their tribe or whatever it may be. Colombians, they don't care if they light-skinned Colombia, black Colombia. They are Colombians first. Doesn't matter if they're white Colombian. Doesn't matter if they're machisto. Doesn't matter if they are mulatto. Doesn't matter. They are Colombian first. Their country comes first. Brazilian, their country comes first. Being the Afro part comes second. In America, it's flipped. Your race and ethnicity comes first, and your nationality comes third. And we talk about whiteness and blackness and Jewishness and all that, and the races far more than we talk about that we're all Americans. Far more. And so that's why so many Americans, when we leave America, we are almost flabbergasted when people talk to us and put our nationality first and our blackness and our ethnicity second and third. We are blown away. Hey, that's the American. Who, me? I'm black. Yeah, but you're American. But I'm black. Yeah, sure, but you're American. But I'm black like y'all. Bruh, you will not like us. You're American. But I'm just like the Afro-Colombian. No, you're not. You're American. And that just blows our mind. It just blows our mind that everywhere we go, people see us as Americans first and not see our race first. And that's why when we go to France, we get treated with a little bit more respect because of they see that we or hear our language and they know, hey, that's an American. They don't look at us like, oh, that's a better black person. Oh, he's a better black person than those black people. They don't say that. They say, when I went to France, when I went to all these other countries in Europe, when I go to other countries around different parts of the world, the first thing that comes out of people's mouth is not that I'm black. The first thing that comes out of people's mouth is, you're American. Where you from? What part are you from? What part of America are you from? And we're not used to that. We're used to our Americanness coming third and our blackness coming first and second, meaning our race and our ethnicity. I hope that gave you guys a little bit of clarity in regards to the difference between race, ethnicity, and nationality. Your nationality, our nationality is Americans. A white person can say their race is white, but their ethnicity is maybe Irish, or their ethnicity could be, well, my people are originally from Poland. That's their ethnicity. But their race is, hey, you're white. But their nationality is American. With us, it's ethnicity and race. We're the only ones that do this, are one. Our cultural dynamic, our ethnicity, what makes us us is black. Our skin, by modern definition, is black. We put both of those together as one. No other country does that. No other culture does that. We're the only ones that put black as a nationality and black as a race. And then, of course, we're American by way of nationality. We're the only ones that do that. And we always, as Americans, I don't know why Americans do that. We got all our flags and we celebrate. But at the end of the day, we do not treat each other like Americans. We treat each other by our race. We just do. Most cultures do that. But at the end of the day, they celebrate their nationality first. Brazilians celebrate their nationality as Brazilians first. Then the racial separations happen secondly, and the ethnicities separation, the ethnic separations happen. But as far as Colombians do the same thing. Doesn't matter if you talk to a white Colombian, black Colombian, they all gonna say the same thing. I am Colombian. But you black. I don't care what you talk about the black part. I am Colombian. But you black. Yeah, sure, whatever. But I'm Colombian first. Everything is Colombian. You cannot you cannot convince them to put their nationality third like we do. That's us in America. We put our Americanness third. And that's why the only time for all you guys that have not, like I'm going to say this again, for all you guys that have not traveled outside the United States, and I mean truly travel, you don't know what I just said. For the guys and the ladies that have traveled outside the United States, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You are treated more American than you ever have in your life. People do not walk around talk about your blackness as much as they talk about your Americanness. You are American, 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 American. Nobody's running around talking about you're black, oh, he's black, oh, he's black, oh, he's black. Look at him, he's black. There's the black guy. That's all I get is people talking about he's American. When I'm in the, like I said earlier, when I'm in the elevator and I'm by myself and I haven't said anything to anybody, instead of saying buenos dias or buenas noches or buenas tardes, they'll say good morning, good afternoon. They're trying to practice their English. How's your day going? Why? Because I'm black? They got plenty of black people here. They see that I'm American first, even though why, and it's kind of saddens me about this because other countries see me as an American first. But the moment I go back to America, I'm treated like I'm black first. And Taylor Made Dream said this. Before we go back to the video, Taylor Made Dream said this, and I can say this too. And I've always felt this, and I don't know about some of you guys. It feels good to not be reminded of your blackness all day long. It does. I like being known for my nationality also. I won't lie. I love being known as an American. I love America. If this is the first time I've ever been treated like an American, never in America. In America, I get treated like I'm a black person. Nobody talks to me like I'm an American. Nobody questions me like I'm an American. Nobody treats me like I'm an American like when I'm in America. When I'm in America, I get treated like I'm black all day long. My race and ethnicity comes first. All day long. Black people remind me that I'm black. White people remind me that I'm black. Asian people remind me that I'm black. The court system, the school system, the judicial system, everybody, which is the courts, everybody, my job, everybody reminds me all day long in the United States. You're black, you're black, you're blackity black. The music, the clothing, the this, the that. Everybody want to be like black people, black, blah, 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 which I love. But it is overwhelming because I'm just as, guys, if we always talk about our ancestors died for America. Well, how come we can't celebrate our Americanness just as much as we celebrate our blackness? We don't. Only time we talk about our Americanness, 4th of July, or if we're talking about something that has to do with politics versus those immigrants. Get rid of those immigrants. I'm a black American. My people are here. So when it comes to going against somebody else, we'll talk about our Americanness. But just on a regular daily basis, no, black people are not treated like they're Americans in America. You are treated like you're a black person in America. White people are not treated like Americans in America. You are treated like a white person in America. Asian people are not treated like Americans in America. They are treated like Asian people first, Americans third. That's the travesty that just hurts my heart so much. Because when I left the United States, all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, I'm finally American. I'm red, white, and blue through and through. People want to talk to me like I'm an American, ask questions of me like I'm an American, glance at me, look at me, converse with me. Everything about me says that is an American. The black part comes second. The black that says my ethnicity and my race comes second. That's why when they look at an Afro-Colombian and then they look at me, I'm different from him. That's why when we were in Barcelona, they looked at me different from when you saw a brother from Africa that was an immigrant in Spain. Soon as they saw me, like, oh, he's different. Let's not talk to him like that. But as for these Africans over here, it was very disrespectful how they treated them. But as long as I was seen as American, it made my blackness different from his blackness. But in America, we actually make the mistake of thinking because we put blackness first with our ethnicity and our race, and we put our nationality third, we think like Dr. Umar that everybody that's black or everybody falls up under the umbrella of blackness. That's not true. When Dominicans say, I am not black first, they're correct. When Africans say, I didn't know I was black because I am up under the umbrella of my ethnicity, my nationality first as an African, or they were under their ethnicity second, and then race is so far down the line that they don't even think about the concept of it the way that we do. And then we will get mad at other countries for not saying that they're black. Like wait a minute, we all black. No, we aren't all black by way of race and ethnicity. By race, yes. By ethnicity, no. But we get flustered if they don't celebrate blackness the way we do. They're not supposed to. Come to peace with other countries around the world that celebrate their nationalities first, their ethnicity second, then their race third. Whereas we are race first, ethnicity second, and nationality comes third. Show a little grace for people that don't think like we do in America. If they say they aren't black, technically, they're right. They're right. Because if they get pulled over by the police in another country, they are not looking at them for their color only. They're looking at them as that is a Nigerian. That is those Ethiopians. You ever notice when they complain about people in other countries, they do not complain about them. They don't say all these black people are invading Italy. No. They say we got all these Moroccans coming over here. We got all these Ethiopians. We got all these people coming from Northern Africa coming over here. They talk about the nationalities first. They talk in Japan. They talk about all these Nigerians are over here. Did they say a bunch of black people? Oh my God, all these black people coming to Japan. Nope. They talk about the geographical location where those people are coming from. We talk about race first. We consider black first. Until we understand that concept, we'll still be scratching the back of our heads like, why aren't they black? What do they mean? They got the same skin color. What do you mean they're not black? We're all black. No, that's not how they see it. And they'll never see it like that. And you can't check. And I'll say this again. How we think about race, ethnicity, and nationality is completely different from most of the world. So what I'm saying is, yes, America, how we think about race, nationality, and ethnicity is an anomaly. It is not the norm. Most countries think about their nationality first. The Japanese know that there are subsets of their ethnicity, but they're going to talk about Japan first and Japan always. China knows that there are thousands of subsets of their ethnicity, and they know that their race is Asian. But they know one thing: they are China first and Chinese always. That's not us in America. America, we are I'm white first, and I'm white always. I'm black first. I'm black always. I'm Asian first. I'm Asian always. We talk about race. We treat our nationality as if it's the third place. And most of the world don't think like that. Most of the world does not think like that. When you come out to these countries, guys, I'm telling you, if you ever want to be a proud American, I'm going to end with this, because this is what my main point in saying everything was. If you ever want to be a proud American, leave America. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If you ever wanted to be a proud American, leave America. If you want to just be around the world, be just reminded all the time that you are American, go and leave America. Because no matter how many flags we wave back home, we do not respect the fact that we all are red, white, and blue. We do not respect that at all. We'll do it every once in a while. 9/11, Pearl Harbor. Then we want to respect America first. And then it just goes back to being American, becomes third. Leave America. And you'll be reminded all the time of your nationality first. You are American. You are red, white, and blue. But as long as you're in America, you will not understand anything that I just said. Shout out to all you guys. I hope that made a little sense. Shout out to my brother Donald, said it made sense. Appreciate you gentlemen being here. He said it is a difference, unfortunately. Absolutely correct. And yes, it is about economy at the end of the day. Of course, chase the dollar. There's always a dollar behind a reason. He said, Dre, we do that because people have been brainwashed over 50 to 75 years that race means more than nationality. That is absolutely true in the United States. We do value our race, whether it be because of Jim Crow, whether it be through the Reformation age, post-slavery, in other words, whether it was during slavery. Either way, we worship race. We make money off of race. Race is our number one complaint in the United States. There is no other. Economies come, economies go. It goes up and down. But the one thing that's consistent about America, our racism towards each other, our bigotry towards each other. Why? All Americans are programmed. All Americans are programmed to put your nationality third. Your race and your ethnicity comes before your nationality. That's why we're such a racist country. We do not put our nationality first, ever. White people do not put their nationality first. They put their whiteness first. Black people do not put their nationality first. We have been programmed to put our blackness first. Latin people do not put their nationality first in America. That's why Latin people in their home country act completely different than Latin people who are living in America. We are told to put our race and our ethnicity first. Then if something happens, all of a sudden we all Americans. But when you leave America, your nationality is first. Why do you think when we go to London, they ask, where you from? I'm from the United States. No. Where are your people originally? What nation, what nationality are your people originally? What's your nationality? I'm American. That's my nationality. Yeah, I get that. You're from America. But before your people were in America, they were somewhere else, right? What's your nationality? Everybody else puts your nation or your nationality first. That's why they scratch their heads with all you talk about is being black all the time. And they're like, why does this person keep harping on being black? You're American. But yeah, but I'm a black American. Okay, cool, that's cool, but you're still American first. And we can't fathom the thought of somebody looking at us as black second and Americans first. Because we think, let's be honest, we think that only white people get the right to be considered Americans first. Second in line is our military. So if it ain't a white person, or if it's not a person of the military, why would somebody dare to call a black person an American first? Because we've never heard it. We're not used to it. I'll say this again. Military, yes. White people, yes. The rest of us putting our nationality, in our minds, we think white people do that. But for us, as Latinos, as blacks, as Germans or slash American Asians, I'm American first. To some of y'all, while I'm saying it, it doesn't even sound right. I want to say this again. As you're listening to me, it doesn't even sound right for you to say that you're American first. You're so programmed to say that you're black first, and the world should see you as black first, your race and ethnicity, because they see your skin. You can't fathom the thought that somebody actually sees you as an American first. That's crazy. That's asinine. But that's how the real world works. The real world works where your nationality is first in the real world, Americans. In the real world, your ethnicity comes second. Are you Italian? Are you from the Congo? You know, are Congolese? Are you Haitian? Are you speaking Creole? Are you Creole? Are you Dominican first and you're Latina second or Latino second? What is it? Are you Dominican and you're Afro second and you're Latino third? What is it? The rest of the world thinks like that. Only in America, we're programmed to flip it and think about our race, our ethnicity first, and then our nationality. He said, peace and blessings to the fellas. Shout out to you. He said, I beg to differ. Latin America seems to me, seems to you, as being black. If I'm 20 feet away, I become American from 6 feet away. To you, seems to you. And if you look at from your ethnicity, you can say that. Here's the kicker. You're saying it from the perspective of how us Americans are programmed to think. Here we go. You're in Brazil among Brazilians. 20 feet away, your ass Brazilian. 6 feet away, oh, he ain't Brazilian, that's an American. Did I mention blackness yet? I didn't mention blackness, did I? 20 feet away, people aren't looking at me like those are all black people. In this country, 20 feet away, T-Mac, 20 feet away, he's Colombian. 6 feet away, oh, he ain't Colombian, he's American. Did I mention the blackness? I didn't. If you keep looking at the world from Americans' perspective, you will always put the blackness first. always. But if you look at it from the perspective of other countries, 20 feet away, you look like their countrymen. Until 6 feet away, you're correct. Oh, you ain't one of their country, you're American. Oh, he American. He ain't one of them, he American. He don't look like them, he don't walk like them, he don't give off the energy that they give off. That dude right there is American. But from 20 feet away, they are not looking at you like you black. 20 feet away, they're looking at you like you Brazilian. 20 feet away, you look like a Dominican. 20 feet away, you look like South African. 20 feet away, you look just like a black European. 20 feet away. 6 feet away, 3 feet away, the closer you get, they are not going to say, oh, that's a black guy. No, they're going to say that's an American guy. That's what you got to get used to. That's what you got to get used to. Nobody's looking at you 20 feet away and saying, those are black Brazilians. That term doesn't even sound right, does it? Oh, he looks black. What? This country, Brazil, has 113 million black people. Yeah? To even use the term Afro or black in Brazil is like, it's almost like you're saying it the same word twice. Brazil, black. When they see you in a crowd of Brazilians, they are not looking like, look at all those black people over there. They're standing together, all those blackies. No, they see you and they say, hey, there's a crowd of Brazilians over there. And the closer they get to the crowd, now they can differentiate all those people over there are Brazilian, but your ass is American. You ain't Brazilian. You American. Did I mention race yet? I didn't. That's an American thing to put race first. That is an American thing to put race first. My brother Arizona says this. He said, that's true. He said, I lived in Nepal and Italy for 4 years. And when I went out, they acknowledged me as this is my American friend. And I get the same thing. Dude, I go out to the black community here in Cali. Ain't nobody talking about he's black too. That's a brother. No, that's an American brother. I get the brother moniker, but I get the American part first. Hey, that's an American brother. That's an American sister. And from far away, we all look alike. Colombian. From far away, we all look like Colombian. And the closer they get, they realize, wait a minute, T-Mac American. He ain't Colombian. Will is Victor. Wait a minute. Them dude, I thought those was a bunch of Colombians standing together. Those just a bunch of Americans standing around talking. I didn't mention race, did I? In most parts of the world, nobody's starting with race first. That's an American concept, to think about race first. To think about race first. Shout out to Black Cleaner in the building. He says, so colorism doesn't exist or doesn't play a part from a distance? No. Nobody's sitting around saying that that person is this particular we treat this person this particular way because of their color. Colorism does exist, and racism does exist in all the countries. So I'm not saying that. I'm saying that most countries don't start judging a person with the narrative of race first. Nobody's sitting around. If I walk out tonight, nobody's going to be sitting around saying, hey, that's a black guy walking down the street. What he must be dangerous because he's black walking down the street. They're going to assume that I'm just another Afro-Colombian walking down the street. The closer they get to me, oh, he's from the States. That's an American. From my facial structure to my height to my build, everything about me says American. My energy, my swag, how I walk down the street, everything about me says American. To most blacks in America, everything that I just said, it just blows your mind. You cannot escape the understanding of your race does not come first around the world. Nobody's looking at your race first. Once they get closer up on you, once they can differentiate. I think it's sad though. Don't get me wrong. I'll tell you what I mean by that. And maybe even some of you guys can attest to this. I see how people give me more respect for being American than they give the Afro-Colombians here at times. I don't like that. They'll look at the Afro-Colombians, and even among Afro-Colombians at times, they'll look at their own ethnicity and nationality and treat me better than they treat their own sometimes. And I understand I'm a tourist, I'm an anomaly, I'm different on that scale, you know. Well, in my case, I'm an immigrant, but I still think it ain't fair. I was once in a taxi with Andrea, and I got in the taxi. The guy was from the Middle East. Andrea had gotten in the backseat. He turned, he knew Andrea was Latina. And he looked at me, he said, "Are you Brazilian?" And you know me, I'm ready to say something slick like, if I'm Brazilian, why the hell am I speaking English? And I was like, nah, bro, I'm from the States. He proceeded to complain about the African immigrants, the Afro-Colombian immigrants, the Brazilian immigrants, anything that anybody was coming from another country infiltrating Spain. He was just rambling. Me and Andre were just trying to go to point A to point B. We was not trying to hear none of that. But because I was American, he felt that I could relate to his plight more than I could understand the plight of my fellow Africans, Afro-Colombians, Afro-Brazilians. In other words, this guy saw my nationality as a step above my Nigerian brothers. Now, I didn't. And that's happened to me plenty of times. That I could be in a scenario that they could look at me, oh, that's just another black. Oh, wait a minute, that's not another black guy. That's an American. It is not, that's an American black guy. No, that's an American. And all of a sudden I start getting respect and I get the best table and I get better treatment just because I'm American. But then I see the people that actually lived in this country don't even get the same treatment that I get. So I think that's unfair. And that happens all the time. And I know some of you guys can actually attest to what I'm talking about. They won't, sometimes you can get a taxi that others can't get that taxi. You can get that waiter that others can't get that waiter. Let's be honest, guys. You ready? Because you're American, you can get that pussy when somebody else couldn't got that pussy. There are women that have been waiting not to fuck a black man. They've been fucking black men their whole lives. These Afro-Colombian, Afro-Brazilians, Dominican women have been fucking black men their whole lives, haven't they? Have they been fucking Black American men their whole lives? Some of you guys got the pussy. You thought it's because I was Black and she was Black. I personally know that there are times I got the pussy just because I was American. The Black part was a bonus. The waiting to get some American dick was what she wanted. Plenty of you guys don't realize that. You've had women that have given you sex, Black women in other countries that have sexed you, that have fallen for you, that have been having sex with Black men their whole lives in their home country. What was the difference with you since everybody's Black and it doesn't matter? What's the difference with you? You American. So you gonna get the extra stroke 2,000. She gonna give you the Hashitashi booty thrust back 3,000. To where the men in her home country, she gonna give him some good sex, but she gonna give you some spectacular sex. She get a chance to have sex with an American. She wants you to squirt inside of her all of your red, white, and blue. Don't act like other countries don't look at you American first. Yes, there's colorism everywhere. Yes, there's biasness, bigotry, racism everywhere. But I can say I don't experience the same level of racism that the Afro-Colombian does, just because once they take a second glance, they see I'm American. And if you think that you don't have that American shield protecting you from a lot of the bullshit that other Blacks from other countries deal with, you're lying to yourself. Being a Black American is a bonus in many countries, bruh. It ain't fair, it ain't right, but it is what it is. Doors will open for you being an American, not just Black, but being an American that wouldn't open up for that other brother, and he Black too. It's not fair. He said, yep, they love the different accents. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. He said, I don't think it's automatic if you're Black. He said, I think it's about perception. I agree with you as well. I agree with that. And how you carry yourself. That's true too. And that goes back to number 4, what I was mentioning. I say it's race, ethnicity, nationality, and the class structure. Yes, you Black. Yes, you're Black as far as your ethnicity is as well too. Yes, you're American. But you hood niggas, you do not get the same treatment that us brothers that walk around like we got some damn sense in our head get. Don't you ever think all Americans get treated the same way. You Pookies, you Nook, Ray Ray, Keith Nim, Mookies, all y'all do not get if you think I don't care how much money you got in your pocket, you will never get treated the same way that we get treated. Ever. There is such thing as classism around the world. That's the number 4. Your ass is not going golfing nowhere. No, nobody want to fuck with you. They concentrate you on purpose to go into the pay-for-play areas, the nightclub areas, the mall areas. Pookie, they make sure that you are concentrated in those areas. They know what African Americans like, and they go concentrate your hood ass right in there. But if you are on another level of class, all of a sudden, all the doors open to all the other areas of countries that you niggas ain't gonna be invited to. I'm sorry, it's the truth. There is classism around the world too. The rich get treated a certain way, middle class get treated a certain way, the poor get treated a certain way. It is what it is. It is what it is, especially in capitalistic societies. Poor whites get treated differently than rich whites. Let's be real. Poor blacks get treated differently than rich blacks. I know y'all try to say, all black people get treated the same. It ain't like that around the world, bro. It might be in America, all blacks get treated the same, no matter if you're poor or you're rich. But I'm telling you, around the world, it's completely different. When you were impoverished in Colombia, your ass is not going, I don't care how black you are not going to get the same treatment as a black person in Colombia. That's an Afro-Colombia. You have an education, or you started a business, or you've done something to take your life on another class, another level. You are treated completely different. And they know the difference. The one thing I can say about at least Colombia, if you ain't got no business being there, you won't be there. Colombians are like this. If you can afford and you've got the class to be there, nobody's going to look at you like, oh my God, why is he here? That's America. That's America. That makes you feel like you don't belong in those rooms. In Colombia, if you got the money and you got the proper mindset, how you carry yourself, you just blend your ass right on in. How do I know? I've been to places where it was just me and maybe one other black Colombian family. And we just blend right on in. Having conversations with people, enjoying the swimming pool. Ain't nobody jumping out of the pool like, oh my God, there's black people in here. No. The reason why we can get in certain swimming pools, because they know if you didn't have the money and the connections to even know about a place like this, your ass wouldn't be here anyway. That's why they concentrate you Pookies and you Ray Rays to certain areas, because they know you niggas gonna always be in those certain areas no matter what country you go to. You concentrate to the same areas. There is a system of classism, and you, no matter how much money you got in your pocket, if you move in the lower class area with your behavior, they gonna treat you like you a lower class nigga because of your behavior, not because of your pockets. I'll say this again. There are clubs, there are spots to enjoy for black people that act lower class but got money in your pocket. You got money in your pocket, but you a low class nigga. Don't worry, we got spots for your ass. As soon as you get off the plane, we got nigga locations for you to go to. Don't even worry about it. You can spend all your nigga money right here. Don't go nowhere else. You know why? Because when you think like a nigga, you don't think to go anywhere else. So all the excursions, all the enjoyment, the next level of women, all of that, the open lands, the glamping and seeing the moons and the stars at night, seeing the aurora lights, seeing the enjoying private beaches. You got money to get there, but you don't have the mindset to get there. You have money, but you move on a certain class. And classism is everywhere, just like racism, ethnicity, and nationality. So yes, you're American, but some of you are nigga Americans, and some of us are black Americans. Some of you are white Americans, and some of you are redneck cracker Americans. You're the redneck cracker Americans that be doing stuff to little kids in other countries. But that doesn't mean that all white people are the same who travel. No, there are some embarrassing ass white people that travel. There's some embarrassing ass black people that travel. That's why a lot of times you don't see us black. I'll give you a perfect, just something simple. Black men will go to a cigar bar and have a great time till 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Niggas gotta go to a nightclub and throw money in the air and dance on top of the couches and shit when they go to other countries. Black men act like they got some goddamn sense in their head. And so they attract a certain caliber of women. Niggas get drugged, robbed, scammed. White men know how to act like they got some damn sense in their head when they travel to other countries. Broken ass, broken mentality, redneck crackers, them the ones that get drugged. Them the ones that get caught messing with little kids. Them the ones that either get deported or not let into the country or end up in jail for 30 years in a particular country. Them the ones that get scammed while they're in Thailand. The crackers, the rednecks, the hillbilly mindset. Them the ones. So if y'all think that just because you're an American, and I said just because you're an American, doors open for you, hell no. There are certain doors that close for you American niggas that you will never get into in other countries. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how cool you are. I don't care how flamboyant you dress. There are parts of certain countries that will like keep them niggas isolated there. When they get off the plane, put them niggas over there. Don't bring them niggas over here. But then black people, shit, black people always get ready to can go wherever they want to. Because we act like we got some sense. We act like we got some class about ourselves. We believe in etiquette. We believe in common sense. We believe in respecting cultures and countries. But you niggas think every country is a rental car. So don't think just because I said Americans get a pass, yes, you will, until they discover that you a nigga and they're going to put you as a nigga American in this area of their country or their city. And black men and black women who act like they got some damn sense in their head, they can go wherever they want to. They can go over here, they can go over there, do this, do that, discover this, discover that, travel to that part of the country, ain't got no issue, come back to this part of the country. They are black. While you niggas are still going to Medellin, black people are going to San Andreas Island. Black people are going, while you niggas are still going to Cartagena, black people have already discovered Santa Marta beaches and ain't nobody there. They just having a good time, laid back, enjoying themselves, black people. You niggas are still going to Cartagena. There's a big difference when it comes to class. And classism exists no matter where you go in the world. So those are the 4 areas that you're in. Your race, let me put together how it is. Around the world, you're looked upon as your nationality, then your ethnicity, then of course your race, and then also your class. Your class will always, how you carry yourself, how you maneuver, how you move. Ain't no use of me and T-Mac telling y'all about the best steakhouse. Your ass ain't going. Your ass is not going. Don't be asking me about what's the best area for you ain't that ain't you, bro. That ain't you. Me and T-Mac can tell you that there are restaurants, bars, clubs, and experiences. They ain't made for you niggas. No, hell no. Don't ask me. I'm gonna tell you right out the gate. I know I will tell a black man and a black woman where to go to that spot in a New York minute. You need to go here. This is a nice spot. And it's not about being expensive. It's about how they carry themselves. But you niggas, don't ask me shit about Cali. I ain't telling you where nothing at. Discover it on your own. If you leave, bye. Then fuck Cali. Bye. I am heavy into classism, bro. I'm heavy into classism because I really believe that if you bust your ass in life, even with your demeanor and how you carry yourself, you might not have as much money as the niggas do, but you'll get a different level of treatment and you meet a different type of women in each country. I'm gonna say something like this before I go back to the video. If the type of women you niggas deal with in other countries are equivalent to the females that I deal with in other countries, I'm doing something wrong. I'm judging myself. How the fuck is, wait a minute. How am I dealing with the same caliber of women them niggas dealing with? I'm a black man. My level of class is completely different. Certain women should not even feel comfortable with being in my presence, with coming in my face. So if we both have the same level and same type of women, oh, I'm doing something wrong. No matter what country I'm going in, I'm doing something right. Ain't no fucking way them beautiful broke bottom feeders are attracted to me. No, bitch. No, better go on back to them niggas. I'm heavy into classes. There are different classes. I accept it. I accept that if you work your way up, you are among the upper echelon. I accept the fact that if I have a poor mindset, I could become poor. Being poor is not about the money only. You can start off poor, but then have such a strong can-do mindset, an American dream mindset, that can eventually catapult you to a whole nother level of life in a few years. So I don't judge people on the economics of being poor. I'm talking about you niggas with that poor mindset. That's why I said you can have a pocket full of money, but if you still behave and act like you're lower level or a dude that ain't got shit or ain't never had shit, y'all over there in Medellin. You are over there. That's why y'all, if you ever notice, you niggas cluster to the same locations with the same type of people and the same type of women. But black men can tell you, oh, I went to Medellin. Have y'all ever been to so and so and so and so and so? And you niggas are scratching your head like, what's that? Where that at, T-Mac? What T-Mac? Where that at? Hey, Will, where that at? Because there are places in Medellin that black men go to that you niggas will never go to. Never. Sorry. There's nationality. There's ethnicity. There's race. And there is your class. And I know some of y'all like, man, fuck you, Dre. I get it. If I was a nigga, I'd say fuck Dre too. I'm serious. If I move with nigga mentality, I would be right now, I'd be saying, fuck that nigga Dre. I kid you not, man, fuck that nigga. Then he gonna know what he's talking about. Of course you don't think I know what I'm talking about. I don't expect you to. Everything I just said was just to celebrate black men. To celebrate white men and not rednecks. I know when there's a cracker coming down here. I know crackers that come from Europe, dog. I don't give them 4 seconds of my time. But a white dude, I give a white dude some of my time. A quality white dude, I give him some of my time. But a cracker? Hell no. Get the fuck out my face. Shout out to Top Dog in the building, my dude. Tori says this. He said, Priest Dre. He said, you standing on business. Love you, man. Love you brothers too, man. I kid you not. I'm going to come to the super chats in a second, gentlemen. He said, a lot of folks choose to have victimhood mindsets because they hate self-accountability. Absolutely correct. He said, laugh my ass off, 100% true. He said, no lie. He said, one of my friends is an N. He said, and I tried to explain to him this. He said, Andre said it best. Black men, most of you guys that I kid you not. You can tell the difference even between where black men go compared to niggas. You find more niggas go to Medellin, and you find more black men go to Bogota, Cali. Niggas go to Medellin and Cartagena. I'm sorry, niggas. And not saying that there aren't any black men there. I'm not saying that. But I do notice that black men go to Bogota, Barranquilla, Bucaramanga, San Andreas, Santa Marta, the coffee regions of Manizales, Armenia. The mindset of these dudes are completely different. I mean, like night and day, the same skin color, coming from the same countries, coming with the same economics. I could talk to a black man and say, have you ever been to Guatapé and climbed the rock? Have you ever been to Parque de Cafe, the coffee park, the theme park here in Colombia? Have you ever been to the waterfalls? Have you ever been to the volcanoes? Have you ever been to the whale watching outside of Cali, Colombia? Have you ever went here or ever went there? Have you ever been to the coffee region? And black men to be like, yep, I did this. Have you ever went to Super Bowling in Medellin? Yep. Have you ever went golfing? Yep. Have you ever been fishing? Yep. What about the four-wheelers? Yep. Have you ever been horseback riding? Yep. Then I talk to niggas. Where you been? Man, them hoes, and then them hoes. Shit, nigga, them hoes. That's how I know the difference. They purposely cluster y'all. Y'all think y'all going and choosing the clubs and you're choosing the certain women. You have been programmed and been herded like cattle into parqueyeras, into the clock tower area of Cartagena. Y'all do the same thing in DR. All of a sudden lately, everybody wants to be in Santo Domingo. Y'all don't want to be in Sosúa no more. Black people were going to Santo Domingo while you niggas was going to Sosúa for years. I know black people like myself that have never been to Sosúa. And we spent a month there. Never. We have been all over that island. All over. Not one time even imagine thinking about stepping to Sosúa. Went to Santo Domingo twice. Now, lately, you niggas want to come trickle down to Santo Domingo as if y'all discovered something new. Black people, black men and black women, white men and white women have been going to Santo Domingo and living in Santo Domingo for years. You niggas and you crackers are just discovering Santo Domingo over the last couple of years. But black people have, and white men and white women and Asian men and Asian women have always been there. Always been there. Always been there. There is a difference between how crackers travel and white men travel. Black men and niggas. It always has been. It always will be. You say Pookies be dropping 10K, 20K USD, popping champagne. I wish you was lying, but you're telling the truth. He say popping champagne at a dingy ass replica foreign club of a dingy ass ATL. You're not lying. You're not lying. You niggas will go to Cartagena, spend a ton of money in delirium, a pretend Atlanta-ish club. As long as they pretend like they're the A, or like they're Detroit, or like they're a club in Chicago, or like they remind you of a New York or LA or a Houston club or a Miami-ish club. As long as they got something that reminds you of what you niggas enjoy back in the States, you will spend tons of money there. Black people will go to some spots that remind them of the actual culture of that country. You got black men that go to clubs where they just do bachata and salsa, merengue, and cumbia. You niggas ain't going to them clubs. You niggas are not going to them clubs. You niggas are not going to learn bachata. Stop it. You niggas, your salsa game is trash. Trash. You can barely jump up and down the reggaeton. If they ain't playing no American music, your ass gonna be standing around. You damn sure ain't gonna do no cumbia. Easiest dance in the world is merengue. It's just side to side. Your ass ain't gonna do no merengue. We know that. Black people, white men, yes. Crackers, no. They ain't doing it. Hillbillies, they ain't doing no. You ain't gonna never see no hillbilly doing no damn salsa. Hell no. You ain't gonna see them doing Mexican dances. Hell no. But you'll see a white man doing it. You'll see a black man doing it. You'll see an Asian man doing it. Because we're there for culture, not just for coochie. We enjoy the coochie, but we also enjoy the culture. You niggas, you just go down for the coochie and go to clubs that remind you of the, and in order to get to coochie, you go to clubs. This brother ain't lying. In every country, I see y'all do it in the Philippines. I see y'all do it in Thailand. Y'all always cluster y'all little asses in them same ass clubs that play American music over and over and over and over and over again. And they know what they're doing, and they're making thousands upon thousands of USD off of your dumb ass. You just blew 5,000 in the club, and it's a flex. It ain't tricking if you got it, Dre. So be it. However you want to word it to make your nigga ears feel good, go ahead and word it and make your nigger and your cracker ears feel good. It ain't tricking if you got it. Make yourself feel good tonight. But the brother ain't lying. They know exactly what they do to get y'all ass to cluster in these small areas. You just hate. You just dick watching. I'm just telling you what they do. You can keep going. Dude, after this live stream, you niggas gonna be niggas. Let's be real. After this show is over, y'all gonna still do nigga shit. I don't know why y'all trying to be mad in the comments. You know and I know you a nigga. You know and I know you a redneck cracker. You gonna be doing cracker shit, trying to put your hands on somebody's kids that you ain't got no business touching on. You do cracker stuff. You go to countries and you mess with kids, people's kids, and you almost get your arm chopped off for messing with people's kids. You do cracker stuff. Niggas, you do nigga shit. So don't be looking at me like I done said something off the wall that should have been said on camera. These cameras go off, y'all gonna still get off them planes, do nigga shit. But here's the cool part. These cameras gonna go off, and there's gonna still be some white men, Asian men, Latin men, and others that's gonna do some grown adult shit. And there's gonna be some black men that's gonna do some grown adult shit and look at you niggas like y'all crazy. Because that's what we do. We look at rednecks like they crazy. We look at niggas like they crazy. We look at disrespectful hood ass Latins like they crazy. If you think Latin people look at each other the same, like, yes, we're all the same. No, they don't. They be looking at them broke ass Latins riding around crazy on their motorcycles like, yeah, that's one of them poor ass Latin boys from the hood. He don't know what a stoplight is. He just riding, just the moto boys. So even Latin people in their own countries know what classism is. But if y'all don't think when these cameras go off, all of a sudden y'all gonna stop being niggas, y'all gonna be niggas. Y'all gonna run y'all ass to parquet areas. Man, they could close up parquet areas. You niggas will invent a new parquet areas. I wish I was lying. This brother's not lying. He said, Pookies be dropping 10K, 20K, popping champagne in a dingy ass replica foreign club of a dingy ass Atlanta club, when instead they can spend 1/20 of that and eat in a fancy 5-star foreign restaurant. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. He is not lying. Black Cleaner said, the Black Cleaner in the building says that, he said, you are speaking truth. He said, niggas will laugh at you for wanting to go on excursions and tours. I know dudes that do the deep sea diving, brothers that do deep sea diving. You niggas ain't doing no deep sea diving. I know brothers that do the parasailing. You niggas ain't parasailing. You ain't sailing nowhere. We can't get you niggas to come out your hotel room, except you niggas come out your hotel room just to get high, drunk, and some pussy, and then go back to your hotel room. Ain't nobody hating on you, but it is what it is. You are part of that class. Fuck you, Drake. I got the fuck you, Drake part. But the truth of the matter is, there is such thing as classes. There are classes. I tell you to go to Bogota, your ass in the hood. The rest of us in Zone T. If you ever been to Bogota, you know that is the upper class, some of the best restaurants, best malls, best Airbnb, best hotel in the country. It is where the rich of Colombia live in that area of Bogota. Politicians' homes are there. The presidents and ex-presidents lives in Zone T area. But ask you niggas ain't never even heard of Zone T. Every time me and Andre go to Bogota, we guaranteed we ain't going nowhere else. We gonna be a Zone T. Best restaurants in the country. Custom-made suits. The best cologne stores. You niggas after this live stream gonna still be niggas. So I don't even trip on y'all when y'all cussing out Dre. Man, fuck you, nigga. That I don't like that nigga Dre. I don't care. You don't like the fact that Dre tell y'all the truth. It's like when Kevin Samuels was talking to women. I always say women can say everything about Kevin Samuels, but they never told Kevin Samuels that he was a liar. I never heard women in mass to say, you a liar. That's not true. Never. We just don't like your tone. It's the same thing here. Stop me when I'm lying. No, I ain't lying. You niggas gonna be niggas. Florida said, he said, it's good to know Dre. He said, I'm glad that you give a white man some time. Heck yeah. I ain't never been funny style like that, bro. My first friend was white. So my closest friends have been, and I mean, I don't say it in a racial way. Bruh, I have always been that one brother in the crowd at the rock concert, at the rave, at the motherfucking Eminem concerts, getting fucked up. I'm always at the brother. I'm that one or two brother at the bonfire, bruh, with the tiki torches. Come on now, with the tiki torches. I'm the only brother at the kegger, bruh. Some of these niggas don't know what a kegger is. A kegger? See, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Black men know what a kegger is. Black men have been to some keggers. Black men know what a bonfire is. Black men have been to bonfires. You niggas ain't never been to no bonfires. Black people go, white people go, Asian people go, Latin people go. They know what a kegger is. He said, don't think I'm redneck. I don't think you. He said, please. He said, might wear a cowboy boot. Shout out to the cowboy boot wearers. He said, but they are alligators. Come on now. You know I'm from Detroit. Don't play with me like that. He at least they alligator skin. You know how we like us some big blocks in Detroit. If you're from Detroit, you know what a big block is. Big blocks mean the squares on the gators or the snake skin, on the gator skin. When you have the smaller squares on the gator skin, it's small blocks. But the larger squares are more expensive in the shoe or the boot. So we call them big blocks. You know, we love some big blocks in Detroit. Yeah. Yes, sir. Shout out to you, brother. Don't tease me with the Gators. Don't tease me with the Gators. Y'all know how Detroit's are about some Gators. He said them jazz clubs in the middle of Parquet Uranus or Uranus. Let me get this pronounce this correctly. No, it's no A. See, my Spanish for that one. I just destroy that title. Knows about. Y'all love me some live jazz. Man, me and Andrea have been to live jazz. We've been to the opera. We've been to the ballet. We saw the Nutcracker Suite ballet down here a couple years ago. You know who we didn't see in there? You niggas and crackers. You niggas ain't going to no ballet. You ain't going to see no play in Colombia. You are not going to no class. Niggas, you are not going to no jazz clubs. You're barely going to the dance hall clubs. You niggas barely go to the dance hall clubs. Our Caribbean brothers and sisters, they go, but you niggas, you ain't going to no dance hall. I kid you not, man. You absolutely correct. Completely different experience. He says Sue is a small part of the absolutely correct. He said, I always stay away from them. We had such a good time. Met some really cool dudes, man. In Sosua. I mean, not in Sosua, in DR. We went to Chinatown. Some of you niggas have been to DR 100 times over. You ain't even been to Chinatown. They got a Chinatown. Yeah, nigga, they got a whole Chinatown. You got rednecks ain't never been to Chinatown. You got plenty of white dudes that's been to Chinatown. Plenty of black dudes that have been to Chinatown. But you niggas and you rednecks, no, y'all don't go to Chinatown. Y'all too busy focusing on bitches, man. We get it. You like bitches. That's all your mind is about. You a thirsty motherfucker. We get it. The thirst is real. It can't be quenched. We get it. Ain't nobody hating you for it. And I mean that. I'm not hating on dudes that are thirsty motherfuckers. But there is more to DR. Some of you dudes been to DR 15 times. You have never ridden the subway. They got a subway? Yes, motherfucker, they got a subway. All of those restaurants underground in caves. What? They got restaurants in caves? Like real cave restaurants. And you ain't never been to one. But you've been to DR, what, 15, 20 times? Sosua, how many times? Santo Domingo, how many times? Whenever I hear niggas about to say something, I just walk away. Because y'all ain't done nothing. Y'all ain't done nothing. Me and Andrea went to Sosua and we discovered stuff that y'all ain't never put on video. We like, why didn't you put a video out on this? Why don't I talk about this? How about this? I didn't know this was here. Y'all got 10,000 videos on how to buy some coochie in Colombia. Black dudes got them, white dudes got them, Latin dudes got all. Y'all got 10,000 videos on how to buy the latest female. Ain't one video on this or on that or this or that or that. We looking like, how the hell they ain't made no video about this yet? Y'all funny. My brother says this. No Limit says this. Shout to No Limit in the building. He says, same thing here in Thailand. He said, a lot of these ninjas in Pattaya, none in Hue Hung or Hue Hin or Ubin. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Or Uban. Yep, there are locations that I know that. I noticed that. It's just like with Ronan. When Ronan talks about the Philippines in his area, he said, man, these dudes don't even know. You'll get a bang for your buck in these areas. But dudes don't go. Shout out to Coach being in the building. Shout out to Coach. Glad you're here, brother. He said, yeah, still tricking. Yep. Shout out to my brother Chalupe. He was there with us yesterday on the Patreon. Appreciate you, brother. Speaking of Patreon, let me drop the link. I forgot to drop the link for you guys to join the Patreon. He said only brothers on Mexican teams. He said only the brother on the Mexican team just scored. Man, Mexico they've been playing, bruh. Shout out to Mexico in the World Cup. And fuck Argentina. Lames, them racist ass lames. You say, damn, that's true. I never thought about that. Z-Bar. Go ahead, speak it. Yep. The dudes don't go out to Zone T. Yep. Thank you, brother. Dudes do not go down to Bogota and you have such a good time out there, man. And I can say police and security you can tell that the president and the former presidents and congressmen and senators live in Zone T. We talking about military security, regular police. Zone T ain't nothing going on but the rent. It is extremely, extremely modern. And I'm telling you now, bruh, it is so much fun, so much to do, and you feel so safe. He say Zone T, aka Zone Rosa. Yep. He say I added oh man, I'm not even trying to pretend to pronounce that. I'm going to destroy it. But yeah, Andrew Craig, you're absolutely correct, brother. He say Zone G restaurants, for the restaurants. That's a good location too. That is true. We were over there as well. He say that's where they have the higher end hotels. Absolutely correct. Yep. So shout out to all you Bogota men. Yes, sir. YLE says this. He said, I remember that when I came to Cali, you and Andrea made reservations for breakfast at the Marriott. That was really nice too. He said, and Wade, he said that Wade, or that was one of the best breakfasts I had. He said, I knew for a fact that you were not inviting Pookies there. That's true. That's true. That is so true. He say, this is what these ninjas cannot make. He can't make it. He say, in places like Montevideo, yep, and Luxembourg, he said it's too much for them, for their pockets. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct, bro. I give you another one, man. What I'm doing for next month, or this month that's coming up, I'm putting together a video series of for 12 months, 2 things that you can do in any part of Colombia, 2 celebrations, 2 major festivals, 2 to 3 major festivals. I didn't know this. Maybe some of you guys did. Cartagena has a yacht concert. I'll tell you what I mean. I never even heard. I didn't even see this in Florida. The stage faces the ocean. I'll say this again. It doesn't face the crowd. There's no people standing outside. Every year they do it, and they have major performers come out there. The stage faces the ocean, the docks, and you see 200-300 yachts and boats are facing the stage, like right there. I'm like, these niggas ain't talking about this at all in Cartagena. They have a yacht concert every year. And the stage is literally facing toward the ocean. And you've got hundreds, just the yachts are just sitting there just in giant clusters, man. I say, yeah, I got to make some reservations so me and Andre can rent a nice little boat and head out there. This is in Cartagena. Niggas ain't gonna tell you about this. A black man will. Crackers ain't gonna tell you about this. White dudes will. There's a difference between white dudes and them crackers. Because they out there just being thirsty. There's a difference between black men and them niggas. And them niggas ain't gonna tell you nothing about that in Cartagena. Yep. Let's go back to the video. Let me stop running off at the mouth. Let me start running off the mouth. But I'm having fun putting this montage of events. So like for the month of January, I got like 2 or 3 major events to do in Colombia. Then for February's 2 or 3 major. So each month there's, because I have the listing. I have the listing that there are at least 200 major festivals and celebrations that take place in Colombia year round for years. You got the Black and White Festival. It's like a mini version of Brazil's kind of festival that they have in February and March. It's like a really smaller version, but it's really nice. And it's the celebration of racism, togetherism. A lot of stuff, man. Yeah, so I'm going to put that together. And I already started putting it together, but it's been amazing to find out all the celebrations that take place here in Colombia year round. He said, yep, that's a big fact, Dre. Yeah, that sounds like a major. I'm excited about that one. Yep, Gringo Tuesday in Bogota in Zone T area. Near the, yep. We were there on the Gringo Tuesday. We were there in that area on the Gringo. Man, we had fun, bro. We had fun, man. It was really nice, man. Really nice. Shout out girl Kizzy. He said, Kizzy brought me and my friend there. We were rolling 3 deep on that trip. He said, YouTuber Kizzy. I know exactly who my girl is. Yep. And her dude. Shout out to Kizzy. Bogota, Colombia. Yes, sir. Shout out to her. Shout out to Utah, dog. Corporal T says this. He said, Dre, we had an at-home. He said, we had that at home in West Palm. I kind of figured that the United States had to have one. At West Palm Beach, he said the yacht concert every year. Thanks for letting me know that, brother. Because we in Clearwater, we have the Clearwater Jazz Festival every year in Tampa area. It's a major week-long jazz concert, some of the best jazz performers that you will have. Jazz and R&B performers. And the people will pull their yachts up, but it was an area where you could sit there if you were on land and enjoy it, but you could also be there and pull your yachts up. So a lot of people pull their boats up and everything and enjoy the concert, Clearwater Jazz Festival. And plus I liked it because it was in October and it was always the weekend of my birthday. And so I said, yeah, let me enjoy the Clearwater Jazz Festival. A lot of people don't know about the Jazz in a Park in Cartagena. I mean, in Bogota, Jazz in a Park. Major concert. If you want to just have a nice jazz night with some great jazz music in the park, Bogota. And I'm talking about thousands of people out there. Thousands. It's a free concert in the park. You got the vendors out there selling food. You have the Bogota Jazz Festival. He said, I love me some jazz. He said, when I moved there, he said, I got some spots. He said, I got to go to some spots. Yep. He said, I'm going to the spots. He said, that's a must. Yeah, man. A lot of jazz spots down here. A lot of them, man. All right, let's go back to the video. Let me shut my mouth for a bit. Let me bring this back. About right here. Yeah.
But first day, usually in America, in college system, they give you a paper to fill out. When I filled out, I put other and I put African because the tick is Black/African American. Now, I don't have a blue passport. So in my head, I'm no Black or African American because I don't have a blue passport. That was my understanding what race was. He literally calls me when class was ending. He's like, oh, like, no. Like, you tick Black or African American, you Black. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not Black. I'm actually African. Because in my mind, this is fresh off the boat, Sophie, 2014. I'm not Black. What do you mean I'm Black? I'm not Black. I'm African.
She said, well, I didn't know I was Black until I came to America. Yeah. And I think to myself, I don't know what's worse, slavery or colonialism, right? And I just think about how colonized the whole of Africa, Ethiopia says no, but the whole of Africa was colonized up until the 60s. Yeah. South Africa faced apartheid up until the 90s, right? And so I'm like, how could you not know? But then I thought to myself, well, it's interpersonal interactions. It's like white people in Nigeria feel like the weather. They're there, they're controlling something, but they're not affecting your day-to-day life. If you go outside and it rains, you have an umbrella, you know how to control it. And so it's a different ball game. But what I've seen present when there's an absence of the race dynamic is almost always this classism, this class divide, this elitism, which I think is hard because I know for me growing up, when your parents tell you to place value on these things and then you have them, how am I not supposed to feel big? I have my Manolo Blahniks on. How am I not supposed to feel big?
Before she goes any further, let's get to the super chats. Shout out to my brother Black Cleaner. He say, well then, he say, Panama is different. He say, I get stopped on the train station for being black. He said, they'll ask me for my passport. Yeah, because they know they know that you ain't from there. It ain't just the blackness. You are not Panamanian and you don't look Panamanian. And so they stop you because you're an American and they'll ask me for my passport. And then I pull it out, the blue book, and that's when they let me go. Different treatment. I noticed that. I noticed that too, brother. You get different treatment. That's a good point. Kofa says this. He said, colorism is everywhere. Absolutely correct. He said, I met someone from Ethiopia and they said even some of them look at darker people as less because it means they worked outside. That's sad because that's how Asians treat each other. That's sad. And let me give a shout out to you guys over on Cash App as well. Let's go here. Give you guys some love. Remember, the Cash App donations will be going towards the food bank that we're donating food to the Venezuelans. We're already giving away the first batch of foods, and so we're going to give away another batch of foods this weekend. And shout out to brother Tommy with the $10 love, and shout out to brother Tommy with the $10 love. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. And shout out to T-Mac the other day as well. Let's go back.
You know what I'm saying? It's very, you have to check it.
We have finally found a African woman who agrees.
After much debate, it has come to my attention that you guys are right. I am not black. Black is an American race, and black means African American. And I am not black, and I'm not African American because I'm not native to America. My race is African. My race is African. My nationality is American. Okay? So I'm not black. I might look black, but I'm not black. My ethnicity is Kru and Bassa and Pele. So I'm multi-ethnic, mono-racial, period. Cool. But nah, I'm not a black American.
I think the misconception of believing that Africans don't consider themselves black is just this. Africans identify by their ethnicity because normally when they're identifying themselves to other black people. So the black is a given. Black is a race and it's all about phenotype. You can look at me and see that I'm black. That's nothing that I have to tell you. But to identify myself further and more specifically, I would tell you my ethnicity. I am Liberian American. I'm not just black. So saying I'm black to another black person, where do we get there? Right? There's going to be further digging if they want to know who I am. So that's why they identify with their ethnicity instead of their race, because 9 times out of 10, they're talking to other black people. Okay?
And I'm so
shout out to Aries Ram being in the building. He said a little something for the tip jar. Nice show. I'm glad you guys enjoying the show. We're sharing information with each other. Not just me, but with each other.
Confused at the perplexion because even in America, two black people who live in the same city but are from different neighborhoods don't have solidarity with one another. If a black person in Chicago enters the wrong black neighborhood in Chicago, they might not make it out alive. But here he explains just how badly black Americans get exploited and why it makes it impossible to live in Africa.
So recently I met a black American woman who's been living here in Uganda, and she owns some land here and has been hiring locals to help, develop it and build it. She's paying them more than they would earn if they work for other people in the area. She is paying them on time, which is super, super rare here in Uganda. And then number 3, she hires like local women in the area to cook for the employees so that they can eat while they're working. The workers keep stealing from her. They take the tools that she buys and they go to town and sell them. She buys 10 bags of concrete, but somehow only 6 of them end up on a work site. So now she has to watch everyone like a hawk. This brings me on to reason number 1, why many black Americans leave Africa is, they feel like they're at a constant disadvantage. Most Africans that I've met believe that black Americans are a result of white people and African people breeding together. And Mzungu means like white man. They believe it's perfectly acceptable to lie to the Mzungu, to steal from the Mzungu, to mistreat the Mzungu. And the logic they use to justify this or to make it okay is, you have money and I don't. And you see, being an American means you earn dollars, and earning dollars means in eyes of locals, you are rich.
We were in traffic heading home one day. So what happens is at the end of the day, because cars have to line up at petrol stations to get their gasoline, the lanes get shortened, which extends the amount of time that you're in traffic. So it used to take us about 2.5 hours to go to work. When there is fuel scarcity, now you're looking at 3 hours, 4 hours sometimes to go to work and come back from work. So it was one of those experiences where we probably left work at 7 p.m. It is 10 at night. We've been in traffic for 3 hours. I'm not exaggerating. We still had an hour plus left in traffic, and we were both exhausted. I'm half asleep driving, and she's 2 months pregnant at that point as well. She's already gone sleeping, going in and out. So eventually she just turned to me while I was driving and said, do you really want to raise a family in this?
Nobody talks about why African American women quietly disappear from the continent of Africa. Mm-hmm. And so today we're going to have that difficult conversation, breaking down why that is, and should single African American women move to the continent of Africa? Mm-hmm. The answer for Kenya is absolutely not. If you ask me would I move to Kenya as a single woman, I would not. Answer is no. But what I do understand is that as women in America, we have been molded and raised a certain way that is not conducive with living in Kenya sometimes. So some of the things that a single African American woman needs to think about when they're moving to Kenya or the continent of Africa is going to be safety, because safety feels different in America than it does in Kenya.
The African dream is to leave Africa. You can quote me on that. Nothing kills my mood faster than scrolling social media and realizing what life could be. Exposure really is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it's great. I like learning and seeing what I otherwise would never have known existed thanks to the internet. But sometimes I wish I was just a little village boy whose entire life is herding cattle and not knowing what the internet is. Because thanks to the internet, I have massive dreams. I know the kind of life I want to live, but it feels so unattainable just because of the fact that I'm in Africa and I gotta deal with all the baggage that comes with being African. And trust me, it's a lot. We'll get into it. But being in Zimbabwe specifically has nerfed me and so many others so hard. I know people who just gave up on all their dreams because Tirimu Zimbabwe and Jomakiza wangu. And it's especially the case for creatives. If you're any sort of creative in Zimbabwe, it's downright impossible to get anyone to take you seriously until you've made it. You will be made fun of and discouraged at every turn because the majority of Africans still live by traditional rules. Art doesn't make money, they say, and in a country where almost everyone is poor, of course money will be their top priority. Everyone wants their child to be the one to take the whole family out the trenches, and making money and becoming a doctor is all that matters. I used to get beaten up by my teachers in primary for drawing in my school exercise books. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have been doing that, but you know what they didn't do? provide me a pencil and a paper that I could draw on. This made me hate school. I had no creative outlet, and no one will be a bigger op than your own parents, bro. It's a meme how you have to traumatize your African parents and just straight up disobey them and risk getting disowned if you want any type of freedom. That's because our parents' parenting style is very backwards, and I can see where they're coming from. They grew up and they were parented in a time before the internet with limited knowledge, and kids back then were seen as assets, young laborers. That's why our grandparents had whole kindergartens worth of kids. Growing up, I was taught to question nothing. Questions were disrespectful. I was forced into all my beliefs, into what I wanted to study, into who I had to become, and I couldn't say anything about it or I'm a bad child. My parents are way better now. I kind of forced them into opening up, but I still struggle to have conversations about my life with them. My dad still doesn't know I have a girlfriend, and that's because dating was so incredibly demonized. Like at school, if you're caught dating, you'd be publicly shamed and punished for being in love, I guess. So even though I'm a grown-ass adult now, I just turned 18, I still can't talk to my dad about my personal life because he taught me to see him as someone I had to obey instead of the father. And it's the same for most people my age that I...
The reason why I put this little skit off into this video, we don't often talk about the young person's experience of growing up on the continent of Africa. And like he said, he kind of wished that there was no such thing as social media because he wouldn't be having all these big dreams if it wasn't for social media. But if you want to have children on the continent of Africa, he said it's not all it's cracked up to be. He said, I'm 18 years old and I still can't talk about girls in my relationship to my parents. He says, I want to be an artist. And my school teacher was spanking me because I didn't want to go off into medical school. So these are the things that we have to consider. We want to call ourselves relocating to other countries. Not saying something's wrong with the continent of Africa, but I'm just showing you guys the reality of many parts of the continent that we are going to have to examine as we decide whether we want to live on the continent long-term or short-term.
No, they grew up being forced to follow the system that our parents followed, and it's so many people that have actually just had enough and now want to go out into the world to do their own thing. And that's the irony of it all, right? Like, our parents wanted us to be something so much that we begin to resent that. The most non-religious people I know are people who had religion shoved down their throats the most. Okay, can we talk about religion for a second? Because Christianity is what guides like 99% of people in Zimbabwe and most of Africa. And most people will use Christianity as an excuse to suppress others. Confession, I want to get a piercing, paint my nails black, and wear grungy outfits. But I won't do that because people here will either call me gay and beat the shit out of me, or they will call me the spawn of Satan and send me to 30 different mega churches to get baptized in anointing oil.
There's a lot of you that are considering Kenya, a lot of Kenyan Americans, Kenyan Brits that want to come back to Kenya. Listen, y'all are looking at Americans. Y'all following our content. If you want to know the real, go to Kenyan content creators because they're able to say things that we cannot say.
Now, I think I know what she's trying to say because this could be very vague, right? But on a day-to-day living situation in Kenya and Uganda. But when you're dealing with Africa, somebody always has their hands in the bush. For example, I had this dude who was on this podcast who's no longer on the podcast. And this girl would used to introduce me to people who would take advantage of me on purpose. He's no longer on the podcast anymore, obviously. All right. Trying to put his hand in the cookie jar on purpose, trying to lead you down a path of disaster. That's an example. And that happens a lot here.
I wonder, it's not just your president who has a penchant for power and greed, whoever your president may be. It's also the other hands at play, the other puppeteers. Africa is so rich in resources. I wonder if we will ever know true peace in my lifetime.
And this is the question that all of us who love Africa or living here have this same question. Will there ever be peace? Will there ever be fairness? Will there ever be transparency? And she mentioned again the cookie jar. So much middlemaning, so much conning, so much scamming, so much lying. This is not just everyday people that are engaging in this. A lot of people you meet on the street, Uganda, Kenya, are fairly nice.
Now, this is more of an indictment of Africa and why it can't develop or modernize despite trillions of dollars in foreign aid being spent over the years. The governments are extremely corrupt, which leads to a massive distrust in the institutions. And because there is no expectation that you'll get ahead and improve your life by doing things the right way, the people adopt a mindset of short-term thinking, where people will lie, cheat, beg, borrow, and steal for short-term benefit at the expense of long-term prosperity. When Americans who want to move to Africa and bring their money and invest in the country and build a house and establish roots get cheated and robbed at every turn by the locals, it scares away the very people Africa needs to help build up its society. They're only interested in getting as much as they possibly can today, even if it means they'll be worse off for it tomorrow. And because everybody is constantly trying to take advantage of one another on a daily basis, it creates an extremely low trust society. There's very little solidarity or collective unity in individual African countries amongst people who share the same language, the same culture, and the same history. So what makes you think they're going to extend an olive branch to people 5,000 miles away on a different continent just because they share the same skin color? And this particular guy is living in Uganda, but here's another American woman living in Ghana who has almost the identical experience.
There are Americans coming over here being nasty, doing nasty things, and being bad to the locals. Now let me flip the script, okay? Let's talk about the fact that we get abused over here too. The thing about Ghana is stop crying victim. Stop crying victim, because y'all cheat us out of a lot of stuff. Y'all invited us to come home, which by the thousands we did. We came running to Ghana. People sold their homes, moved out of their apartments, sold everything. Some people packed up containers and moved over here just to get over here and realize this is not our home. Y'all call us foreigners. Ghanaians call us that. We didn't make that word up. We didn't start calling ourselves that. We don't know that that's what y'all call the white people and the Chinese because we're not around them. But we know that that's what y'all call us. I ain't never heard the word before, Toby, till I came to Ghana. Okay. Y'all invite us home. Let's talk about what y'all do to us. Starting from the before we get to the airport, we got to have a visa that we pay for to even enter our home. We pay all this money for passports and visas to get here. We get to the airport, and as soon as you see a blue passport, everybody's coming for us. Can you give me something small at the COVID place? You get to immigration. Can you give me something small? You get to baggage. Can you give me something small? I have never seen nowhere in any country or state where people have openly, it says $60 for foreigners, $30 for locals, okay? You go to Cocoon Park, and I don't remember the price. Let's say $200 for foreigners, because that's what y'all call us, $40 for locals. You go to the castle, it's $60 for foreigners, $10 for locals. I ain't never seen that nowhere. I ain't never went nowhere in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada where it said you pay, if you a local, if you're from here, you pay $3 for a Coca-Cola, but if you're a foreigner, you pay $8 for a Coca-Cola. I ain't never seen that nowhere. Except Ghana.
Black Americans, for some reason, are unable to fathom that Africans murder each other, genocide one another, conquer each other, oppress and subjugate one another. So the fact that you share the same skin color is frankly inconsequential.
Maturing is realizing you got to retire the whole I'm rooting for everybody black. Because I'm not. I am not rooting for everybody black. Because some of y'all don't even want to be black. It's some black people that's more anti-black than other colored people. I'm not rooting for everybody, but I'm not rooting for y'all. I am not. Y'all are anti-black. I'm not rooting for everybody black. Like, some of y'all got Stockholm Syndrome so bad. Like I see what type of person you would have been back during slavery times, because I see who you are now.
I got a question for the niggas. And when I say
before she goes into her rant, shout out to our brother Trentario or Chincheri. I hope I pronounced that. Trentaria Trentariab. Hope I pronounced that correctly, brother. If I messed it up, blame it on my head, not my heart. He says, hello, brother, watching this from Cambodia. Shout out to all you guys that are out there in Southeast Asia. Good morning to you in Cambodia. He said, thanks for all the older videos. They were inspirational. Inspiration. Thank you very much, brother. Hope you guys continue to enjoy it. Let's hear what the sister has to say about her experience on the continent of Africa.
Niggas, I'm talking about American so-called blacks. You know, I came in this dimension to play as a black woman, and here's my experience, right? And I want to know, I'm not talking to no Africans, no so-called fucking Dominicans. I'm talking to black Americans. Black Americans. And know that the word niggas came from slaves. It came from slavery. And nobody else is a nigga but the Americans. That's because you guys are some powerful entities, right? But nonetheless, I got a question. Aren't you niggas tired of people coming to your land and taking your shit, taking all of your shit that look like you, pretending to be you, and then when they get here and say, it's not bad, we don't know why y'all keep blaming white people for segregation and blaming white people because you guys don't have shit. Coming to your land and talking shit because all the fucking work has been done. All the beatings and lynchings and marches, all that shit has been done, and they come to your land to gaslight the fuck out of you, telling you why you're complaining. It's easy. The system is easy. America is easy. Doing this shit is easy. That's because we made it easy.
And the left has constantly told black people to reject their American identity and align more with their African identity. Those are their people, only for them to get to Africa and realize that was a giant fairy tale.
Absolutely correct. And that's what Dr. Umar doesn't realize. Dr. Umar in many narratives have sold us this pseudo image of Africa to where we think we don't have to put in as much work to accomplish what we want to accomplish in Africa as we would have to if we were in Cambodia, Thailand, Colombia, Panama. Just like when it comes to relocating to any other country, we got to put in the work to get to the level of livelihood or lifestyle that we want to enjoy, and no matter where we go to. It's the same thing on the continent of Africa. When you guys go to Cambodia, like my brother, you were not waiting around thinking at the airport there was just a bunch of Cambodians, black Cambodians waiting for you with open arms, did you? You just got to Cambodia and thought, hey, I got to put in the work. What about in the Philippines? Did y'all think there was just 50 Filipinos just waiting outside for you? Welcome to the Philippines, brothers. Let's welcome. No. There weren't a bunch of tan Filipinos waiting for you, was it? What about when you came to Colombia? Was a bunch of Colombia? Well, you know how we do in Colombia. It might have been. Colombians be going to the airport like we celebrating a festival every single day. So it could have been in Colombia. But my point is, then we want to go to Africa. And instead of putting in the real work like we feel like we got to do in other countries, we think Africa is supposed to automatically just open up the red carpet. Your child is home. Your prodigal child is home. And there's supposed to be bands and dancing, and there's supposed to be kings and prime ministers coming our way, waiting at the airport. We're supposed to get off the plane. It's supposed to be regal and presidential. That's what we think when we go to any parts of Africa. And that's not true. You have to vet your staff just like you do in any other country. You got to make sure that you're hiring the right people just like you do in any other country. You got to make sure that you hire a company that has a good track record to build your house just like in any other country. Do your electricity just like any other country. Just because you're in a continent full of black folks does not mean that you do not have to be careful. And I think that's what frustrates a lot of people that go to Africa. They have this misconception that since we're all black, I can let that guard of vetting down. And you can't. People are people. I'm gonna tell you now, I'm the type of brother like this. If the best company to build my home in Africa was a all white or all Latin or all Asian team, and the brothers couldn't do it the way that it need to be done, I'm gonna fire them damn brothers, and I'm gonna get me some white Amish brothers, and they gonna build my shit. I'm not that, like I said, I love my race, but when it comes to business, I am not as race loyal to a fault. I will give us the first right of refusal of the contract of whatever I need to be done. Yes, I'll look out for the brothers and sisters. But the moment I see you fucking up, I will fire a brother and sister and hire them white folks, them Amish brothers, and had their hat on, and they'll come up with their horse and buggy, and they'll build that, because I see what the Amish do. You know, I lived in Indiana. And so I'll let the Amish dudes come and make this money. And I wouldn't give a damn about y'all crying about, nah, you get the money to the white man. I ain't trying to hear none of that. None of that. And if I was on the continent of Africa, if the brothers are doing the job, cool. If they ain't, I will find somebody else, even on the continent of Africa. Everybody that's my skin folk is not my kin folk, just like some of you guys mentioned earlier. This is business. This is not private. So any country we go to, including the continent of Africa, guys, you're going to have to do your homework, just like if you were to move to China or move to any parts of Europe. Just like if you're moving to Canada, you need to do your homework. Don't think just because, it's the home, it's the motherland, everything gonna be automatically good because it's all black people. You're gonna get your ass over there and get disappointed, not because it's black people, but because you didn't vet the individuals that you let in and out of your life. Zeta says this. He says, it's black folks that think Wakanda is Hey, remember when Black Panther was out and all them black people was going to the movies in African garbs? Everybody dressing like they were from Wakanda for real. You can look back on YouTube and TikTok when Black Panther, the first movie first came out. Man, black people thought Wakanda was for real. Sada says this also. He said, Black Americans watch too much Black Panther and coming to America. This isn't Wakanda or Zamunda. Shout out to Paper Route in the building. Welcome home, Paper Route. He said, assuming it's Eddie Murphy coming to America. I know, assuming, it's Eddie Murphy coming to America. My brother says, he said, one thing that I'm missing out here is the fine ass Cali sisters. Shout out to Cali, Colombia, black women. He said, in the fish spot in Centro. Yes, brother, I know. He said, we'll come and visit again sometime next year. We're always waiting for you, brother. Corporal says this. He said, I like that brothers who said, I ain't down for doing everything for or with black people. I like that too. I've given up on that race assumption, that race loyalty just because of race. I've given up on that years ago. I'm not one of them black people. I love being black. I love being American. That does not mean that the only people that I can hire are black people. My job is to say, is this company a quality black company? If it is, great. If it's not, I'll even give another black company a chance. But if two black companies cannot get the plumbing done, I am going to hire somebody else, and they may be of another race, and I am not going to lose sleep over it. I am not going to lose sleep because I know I got the Amish brothers building my house. If you ain't never seen what the Amish can do when it comes to building, all you Midwest dudes, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about, man. I'm with you guys in regards to that. My brother Corporal says this. He said, black people keep running to Africa with the lyrics of the 1985 song by Phil Collins, Sudia. Oh. I remember that song. That was one of my favorite songs back then. Shout out to Phil Collins just going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He should have been in. He said, I remember I was laughing at these fools. Yeah, man. They going to the Wakanda movie. They actually think the Black Panther was really Wakanda. They dressed in African outfits. You couldn't tell them nothing. I'm like, it's a movie, people. It ain't that serious. It is not that serious. So you remember too, see? Okay, I ain't the only one that remember that time period with that movies. Let me continue on with the video. We're almost done, gentlemen.
Black American is no more a Nigerian than a white American is a German. And the simple fact that black Americans think they're going to move to Africa and build Wakanda is evident of their American perspective. They're thinking about long-term planning, building, investing, enterprise, while the locals view infrastructure as something to be destroyed and sold for scrap metal, and view investments such as that lady trying to build a house as an opportunity to steal tools and materials and just resell them. And in that moment, these black Americans realize they've been sold a lie, and begrudgingly, I hate to say it, realize they have more in common with white man John Smith than they do the local residents of Uganda, simply because they share the same skin color. But the final reason the guy gives why black Americans shouldn't move to Africa is the one we all expect. It's Africa.
So that brings me on to reason number 3 why many black Americans decide to leave Africa, and that is there are better options. You see, of course, I'm not going to pay $7,500 for a piece of paper that lets me stay in a country that doesn't even provide me with stable electricity. What you end up doing is you look for other options in other countries, and you find that there's way better options. For example, in Paraguay, all I have to do is go there with a birth certificate, go there with a background check from the FBI, and they're going to issue me a 2-year temporary residence permit. And after those 2 years, I get a 3-year residency permit. And after those 3 years, I'm able to apply for citizenship. If you want to get citizenship in Africa, you basically have to figure out how to walk on water, because you need to be doing miracles. And to make things even crazier, is like with these places that are offering you easy residency, easy citizenship, the malls are nicer, the roads are nicer, the quality of life is better. But many people actually watch videos that talk about an African country, painted as if it's all rainbows and shun.
I could easily say, based off of the videos that I've watched with all the brothers that have been in Africa and all the sisters, and Americans often say, how come not more Americans are, y'all always traveling to other countries? How come y'all don't ever go to the continent of Africa to relocate? I could easily say for Andre, for the most part, depending on the country, of course, for me, it's infrastructure. For me, it's infrastructure, Wi-Fi. I don't need electricity that's going to go off every day for 2 hours. I can't do that. I can't be in a country where the water is going to go off 3 times. I can't do that. Now, I know there's countries in Africa that doesn't happen, but I've noticed from all the footage, unless it's something that I'm missing, all the footage that many guys have shared, the infrastructure is not conducive to people that work online. The last thing that you want to be doing is doing some cloud engineering, and the next thing you know, the Wi-Fi is gone out. So now you got to make sure that you keep a generator with you at all times, type of thing. So that was me. The roads, I did a consultation with a guy a couple months ago, and he needed some help with the information regarding hospitalization, medical insurance. In most of the countries, I'm gonna tell you, they have a local medical system, but since you're not a resident in most African countries, you have to come with a foreign form of medical or life insurance, and you're not getting a bang for your buck in many of the hospitals. So once again, for me, it was the infrastructure part. It was not about the people or wars and things like that. It was just the fact that just potholes, like you guys were talking about, like she was saying in Kenya, the trash. The sanitation is not up to par. When she said the water drainage, the sewer system. This 2026, and you got countries with raggedy sewer systems. Yeah, that's not a good thing. Donald says this. He say, my cousin just got a ring from a chick from his past, 39-year-old black woman who asked for some money because she's about to be evicted from her apartment. Say black women don't handle black women, or some black women don't handle black women with care anymore. What say you? It's kind of funny that you would say that or ask me that question. I'm not going to be long in regards to this. I won't be long, gentlemen. I'm actually was going to put, and I started it twice, and I finally got it the way that I wanted to do it without insulting anybody. And what it is, I'm going to drop the video next week. It is homeless baddies. There are some attractive women out there in the streets that's homeless. And instead of, putting their egos down, they in them streets. They are in those streets. Homeless. The Miss I don't need no man era. I got this myself. The Miss do women need men? No. And then you got the women that'll end up on the street messing around. He said, did Uruguay 3X? He said the final time the final time I was there, the water was off. He said, so I had to wash up from water tanks that had he said I had salmonella for 2 weeks. Woo, from the street food. Coming back home was rough because I had to run. Man, see, that infrastructure is so important, man. Corporal says this. He said, if Africa called me, I'd be there. He said, I come running anywhere. She's all I need all my life. I feel so good if I just say the words, Sunia. Oh. My brother DJ in the building, he says this, never again. Never again. Yeah, man. My brother DJ said, I'll never go through that again. Crumble says that he said there's this continent that's been on my mind. He say, oh, you gonna quit throwing them lyrics out there. All the time, oh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got me on that one. That was a good one. He said, I definitely need to go back to Cabo Verde. Totally worth another trip. Okay, we got to check that one out. Let's continue on with the last part of the video.
Shines, but when they get to the country, it ends up being a lot of power outages and cow poop. And as a result of that, it's not what they signed up for. It's not what they anticipated. It's not what they wanted. And so they leave, and they leave in a super, super disappointing fashion.
The problem is the pro-Africa, back to the motherland Black Americans romanticize the primitive life. They romanticize the noble savage and living off the land. And don't get me wrong, there's a certain natural satisfaction to living the simple life. I like going out and spending a couple of days in the country for that exact reason. But Africa is a whole different animal, and they quickly realize it's not romantic. It's tough, it's difficult, it's strenuous, it's laborious, and it's a serious adjustment not having access to the modern luxuries you've enjoyed living in America your whole life.
So I'm scrolling and I saw this guy, this Black American guy, talking about leaving the country, fleeing the country. We don't flee. And I was on Leo's Spell, shouts out to Leo, his live last night, and I heard another woman, a Black American woman, saying, oh, maybe we should all collectively leave. Why the fuck would we leave a country that our ancestors, literally the soil that they're buried on? Why would we leave a country that they did so much hard work and toil to build? Why would we leave a country where mostly everything around you, they invented?
I spent 3 months in Southeast Asia, once when I was 10 and once when I was 13. And I spent lots of time deep in the jungles, 15 hours away from the nearest city, fully enthralled in primitive rural life. Because my grandfather, who was an anthropologist, was there doing field work. And the perspective I gained from being fully immersed in that kind of life changed me forever. It made me realize how extraordinarily lucky we are to live in America.
People always ask, Eddie, you've been living in Africa now for over a year. When do you plan on coming back to the United States to live? And the honest answer is, I don't. I have no plan or desire to return to the United States to live full time. And here are 3 reasons why. In the countries that I like and the countries that I live in, my money goes farther. And I can tell you for a fact, based off my experience living on a continent, America's overpriced. And so why would I go back to a place to spend more money when I don't have to?
Reasons why I would never move back to the U.S. as an American living in Asia, part 1. And I've lived in 3 different countries, 2 of them being in Southeast Asia, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. First and most importantly, cost of living. You can get an apartment in a lot of these countries for $200 to $300 US per month. Food can cost as low as $1 to $3 US per meal, and we're not talking about a value menu cheeseburger. I'm talking about the whole 9 yards, the rice, the drink, the chicken, etc.
As a Black woman in this country, I have never felt represented. I am done with the United States of America. This country has never been unified. The history of this country has never been great. The democracy should include everyone. But Black people have faced so many barriers in this country. Police brutality, economic inequality, systematic oppression. There is no equality and inclusivity in this country. And this country does not represent me as a Black woman. And I am done representing this country. This country was built on hatred. And till this day, it thrives off of hatred. But you will not project your hatred onto me anymore. I'm glad that you guys are now seeing that we are the third world country. We are the problem. I have always noticed that other countries don't live like we do. They don't thrive off of hatred. And that is why I can no longer represent a country that is so hateful. I am not a hateful woman. I will take my chances outside of this country before I continue to allow myself to be a part of the systematic oppression. My kids will not be a part of this systematic oppression. I will give them a fighting chance. Because until change occurs, nothing will be done. Nothing. Everything will be the same way. Hate will continue to divide us.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely.
This is what they want you to think the continent of Africa looks.
All right. That's the end of the video. And the reason why I had that montage toward the end about not returning to the United States, because a lot of times you have a lot of Americans, especially African Americans, that think that it's an either or thing. Either I live in Africa or I live in the United States. And no other country can be there for me, which is not true. Many of us already know that if one country doesn't work well for me, I'll try another one. I'll try another 2 countries. So don't get caught up in that shell game of that 3-card Monty, in other words, of if I'm not in the United States, where am I? If I'm not in Africa, then I got to be in the United States. Don't do that to yourself. There are so many countries that gel with our individual personalities, individual goals, individual cultural gains, if you will. And shout out to all you guys that have been here, all 57 of you guys in the building. Do us a favor. Make sure that you not only click the like button, but also tonight, make sure that you leave a comment in the comment section. That is very, very important on YouTube for the channels. And I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be looking at that video of the homeless baddies in the United States, women who dared to say, I don't need no man. And now a lot of them are attractive and they're homeless. So that's tomorrow's episode. Shout out to all you guys. And thank you very much for the super chats and the cash apps. Let's get ready to look at, we're going to look at the 2 outros that I created over the last couple of days. Let's do the first one, and then we're going to do the second one.
Come on, come here, boy. Come on. You freaky dog. I don't need to analyze every word that comes out is a lie. Make it look like it's so ice. You won't make it to the finish line. Now if you gotta know the truth was gonna let you go. You was fine, never mind, unpredictable. Feet eye off the ground, you ain't no one. You a star, blow it up like supernova. In the nighttime, hit my hotline. Sharing secrets, you was really was part your life. Basic bullets, hit my bullets. That's your wife, you know you're begging for my notice. Promise you're the same, running for the meds. Show you like my vibe, that's my candy on my wrist. Bad habits, little rabbit. Now sit down, you can have it. I see it when you walk my way. Nice big head, come and play with me. Freak it dog, got a whole lot of love for my dog. I see it when you walk my way. Nice big head, come and play with me. Freak it dog, now show how freaky you are.
So I'm just gonna be away for 1 hour. Please don't break anything. And I might have a surprise for you.
Give me a miracle. I need a syllable. Talking about big cash, that's the minimum. I'm done with this trash. Hard to be critical. Show me your mental state before we get physical. Pour some water in your cup, let it drip, drip, drip. Now look straight into my eyes, then you sip, sip, sip. It's about time that you shine. Take off that leash so that we can have some fun. I see it when you walk my way. Nice big bed, come and play with me. Freak it dog, got a whole lot of love for my dog. I see it when you walk my way. Nice big bed, come and play with me. Freak it dog, now show how freaky you are. I see it when you walk my way. Nice big bed, come and play with me. Freak it dog, got a whole lot of love for my dog. Freak it dog, got a whole lot of love for my dog. Freak it dog, got a whole lot of love for my dog.
Gotta do a cold start on EJ, y'all. It's been a while.